Rib tonight.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Ground ball, get through there. It will. And Baldwin drives in another run. Ronald's coming home. Safe. What base running from Acuna.
Pham is there.
What an effort from Tommy Pham.
Big defense right there.
Beatty drives one to deep right center field. Back toward the wall. It's out of here. But Beatty homers to get the Mets on the board. A two-run shot. And it cuts the Angels lead in half. It's now 4-2. To give them a chance to rally. Now Kyle Manzardo clobbers into deep right field. Gone! And the Guardians go ahead 6-5. High fly ball towards the left field corner. That one's got a chance. That one is gone.
Oh. Drives one to deep right. This ball is crushed. Watch it fly into the second deck. Josh Bell, number 12 on the season, staying red hot.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's Austin Jacobsen. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We're back at our normal abode. Austin, what's going on, bud?
Oh, just trying to get situated here.
Yep.
It's all the audio is like not Shane's fault. I think it's just our little mixer guy here just hanging out. But I enjoyed our time over at HQ. Although it was hard not being next to dear old Shane. Did you miss us? Was it a little awkward here by yourself?
It was for like about 20 minutes, and then
I
got over it.
I already told Shane if the internet or something doesn't work today, I'm blaming it exclusively on him.
Nice.
It's a little warm in here already, so that's his fault for sure. That's without a doubt. But no, it's good to be back here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. It's been how was your night? How was your day yesterday?
It was good. I played some pickleball yesterday.
Okay.
So yeah,
How did that go?
A friend in town, so he just like hit me up, and I'm not in a spending mood recently.
Okay.
I've been trying to do days without spending, see how long I can go. I'm on day 3 so far, so we'll see if we can make it 4.
Congrats.
Yeah, right. I'm trying my hardest. But
I'm on day 0.
But he hit me up. He was like, "Hey, do you want to do something?" I was like, "Oh yeah, well, I'll get off work like 4:30ish. What sounds good?" He's like, "Well, I'm gonna go eat at my sister's at 7." I was like, "Okay, well, that's a weird amount of time. Like, I don't want to just like sit at my house and just look at each other." So I was like, "Go do some pickleball." I just got my ass kicked for like 2 hours. It was the worst. It was the worst. I don't know if you can tell this from my stature and such, but I'm not an athlete.
Okay.
So I just get cooked constantly by my friends and family.
Okay. Is your friend a good athlete?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does
He's a volleyball coach. So
does he normally play pickleball?
I don't know how regularly he plays, but every time he plays me, he beats me.
Okay.
So, yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
I mean, being a volleyball coach is a good sign of being a good athlete.
Right,
I usually
yeah.
feel like
It's a pretty good just standard, right?
Yes.
Like if you are a coach of a sport, you kind of get a benefit of the doubt more often than not.
if you're young still.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair.
if you're young
Yeah.
still, that's typically fair.
I don't think
Yeah.
anyone looked at Mark Mangino and was like, "Oh, athlete," but
Why you got to catch a stray with Mark Mangino like that?
that's the first example I could think of.
That's my guy.
First one.
Big Mark Mangino guy.
Well, he's a big Mangino guy.
Mark Mangino's a big Mark Mangino.
He is, yes.
No, I actually really did like Mark Mangino.
I don't think we talk about that. Did you see those floating around on like Twitter a couple days ago?
Which
They were
ones?
talking about like the 2007
No,
like
I missed
BCS championship. They're like, "Oh, this was when college football peaked." And it was when Kansas and Missouri were like 2 and 3. USF was like number 4
They
or
got
5
to 2 at one point in the
yeah.
country.
I think
yeah.
Rutgers was like a top 10 team that season too, weren't they? Wasn't that when the Big East was
That was
all the rage?
I think that was Ray Rice. I think those Ray
Oh,
Rice
yeah.
at Rutgers.
Yep.
Yeah.
West Virginia would have been good that year too, I believe. That would have been.
They got to 2 at one point.
Yep, Noel Devine and those guys.
Yeah, I think that was that Pat Slayton or Pat White and Steve
Pat White,
Slayton.
yeah.
Pat White,
Pat
and Steve
White,
Slayton.
exactly right.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was a wild year in college football.
It was a good year.
Like every time somebody got to number 2 in the country, they lost.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
So
is college football better when it's wonky like that, where you have all these random names in the top 10, or it's all blue bloods in the top 10?
I mean, I like it better when the SEC has to shut up. So that's cool.
fair.
That's
Good point.
cool.
When USF is number 2 and not Alabama.
Boston College got to 2 at one point that year. That's the Matt Ryan year.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like did Texas Tech get to 2 that year? I know they did in like 09.
I think the next year was when it was Graham Harrell and those guys, wasn't
it? Was that
it?
08 or 09? I think that was 09.
It would have been
Crabtree and Harrell.
It would have been the 2010 draft, right? That Sue was drafted, and then 09 was the year that it was Texas, Oklahoma, and
Texas Tech
were all tied. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd been 09.
Yeah. So 09 was the Tech year. But yeah, there was people forget about Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
Are we just gonna do 3 hours of dudes naming dudes?
Dudes naming programs.
Michael Crabtree on that Texas Tech team. Did you ever have those? Like, there were some teams you just latched onto. You remember watching week in and week out. That Texas Tech team.
Yeah.
They were averaging like 60 points a game. How could you not watch?
I remember where I was when Crabtree made the catch to beat Texas. Like, I remember where I was. I was at this bar that doesn't exist anymore, called the Coliseum.
That's a great name.
Great name for a bar.
Yes.
It was a fine bar. It was whatever.
That's disappointing.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't as cool as it should have been.
Was it more nostalgic just because of did it have a heyday or something?
No, I think it was fairly new at the time and it just didn't last very long. But it was, some of my friends worked there, and then we were having somebody's 21st. My buddy's fiance at the time, then ex-fiance, was having her 21st birthday party at the Coliseum because I think some of her friends worked there, and me and my buddy, who was the birthday girl's fiance at the time, and then our other friend, were just staring at a TV. We weren't paying attention to anyone or anything. And I had coached a basketball game that night. I believe I was with Concordia Senior High. Shout out.
Because it would have been like
in November.
Yeah.
I think it was November. And it was either I was with Concordia, it was my first year at Grace. I can't remember which. But so I get there late. I get there about halftime, and we're watching this game, and we're ignoring this entire 21st birthday party, which is like, we were 22 because we were a year older than the group, or than the girl and her group. But it was us 3, and then mostly very attractive, like 21-year-old girls. And at 22 years old, we couldn't have cared less.
Right.
We were just like locked in on Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree. We're like, don't care what's happening around us. Not a concern in the world. I got to be, because we were all Mike Leach fans. We all really liked Mike Leach. Yeah. And so we're sitting there, and they're like doing their birthday shots and doing this whole thing. We're all 3 just like sipping a beer each.
Yeah,
not the same beer. Not the same. We're not sharing the beer.
Nice.
And watching this thing happen. And when Crabtree catches the ball and doesn't go out of bounds, we all just collectively screamed. We're just like, ah! Ah! And then he scored, and we all just kind of looked at each other for a half beat and then freaked out. It was incredible. It was awesome. That's one of those, I remember where I was. Like the Boise State Statue of Liberty, Hooker and Ladder, that whole game. Like, I was at my sister's house in Houston. Like, I know exactly where I was.
What a place to be.
I spent a lot of Christmases Christmas, New Year's down there when I was in college. And so, yeah, I'm like in her living room, Sugar Land, Texas, like just locked in. It was, man, there's some of those moments where just random teams, right? Not Nebraska related. There's a lot of those that I remember where I was, but not Nebraska related, anything like that. It's just pure college football joy. And, those are a couple of them.
Those are the best parties to be at, by the way, because I would have been hitting on every single girl because all the guys were all about football.
Nice, Shane.
Just saying.
He'd have gone over. Not trying to be a hater, Shane.
That sounds like a hating right there.
I'm just, I think we would have been well under the Mendoza line on your batting average there. Well under.
That's tough.
Listen, I call it like I see it, right?
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
That's what they would have said to you when
Mhm.
you hit on him, Shane.
Yep.
They'd have been like, what's happening here, man?
All right, fine.
Rico says people forget about Kevin White at West Virginia, big body receiver. I remember him more
Drafted
for his,
by the Bears.
I remember more for his Bears days.
Huge bust.
Huge.
Enormous bust.
Oh geez, I had his name and now I forgot. I'll have to come back to it. But it was the Kelvin Benjamin. That was another great
Florida State
receiver,
yeah.
Panther receiver.
Took the
A biscuit away from being tight end.
had the game-winning touchdown catch against Auburn in the national championship game.
That's an underrated
Great game.
national championship.
Great game.
I think people forget about that one
Florida's-
because the next year was a playoff, wasn't it?
Yes, the next year was the first playoff. That was the last BCS. The next year was the first playoff, and Florida State got whacked by Oregon.
Yeah.
And you got the famous backwards Jameis fumble where he fumbles it backwards like 30 yards.
I don't know if we give enough credit to Jameis Winston's college football career.
His freshman year was amazing. I went
Yeah.
back and looked at the stats recently. Sophomore year is a little rough. He threw
Yeah.
a lot of picks.
Was he still a Heisman finalist that year?
I don't know if he was a finalist. He won it his freshman year, but he still went number 1 overall.
Yeah,
like
right.
he was the dude there. But the interceptions his second year may have been a foreshadowing of what was to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
TK adds in chat, Pat McAfee got his life threatened in the 2007 season for missing that 50-plus yard field goal.
Against Pitt, right?
Yeah, that was another big one too.
The backyard brawl that would have sent him to the national championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a good year. I don't remember like all the specifics of it, but of course I was younger. But that was a great year to just start absorbing college football. And then since then, I'm trying to remember like another season that has been something like that. I don't know, just the amount of football that you were able to absorb just last season. I wouldn't say as crazy and topsy-turvy, other than Ohio State losing to Michigan. I mean, that was a great week of content.
Yeah, it was.
When everyone was just had all the time in the world to talk about if Ryan Day was going to make it.
All the takes.
Yes.
Honestly, I still believe if he had lost in the first round of the college football playoff, that he gets fired.
Mm-hmm.
Like I firmly
And Nico
believe
would still
that.
be at Tennessee, right? Would they have paid him?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you still have the whole weird thing with Nico's dad. I don't know if that happens.
True.
It's I don't know. It's that one. I don't know that that's a butterfly effect that would have changed on Nico. Nico would still be I am a leaving.
Throw it up, Rico.
Shout out to Rico.
We are this whole conversation just means we're so close.
I know.
We're so close to
So
college football.
close.
The Hall of Fame games, I think, next week too.
There's so much there's so many lists and content and breakdowns that I'm all the way in. Last night I'm looking at these X factors that ESPN put out a bunch of X factors for the college football season for the top 25. And I'm looking through these.
That was an interesting list.
It's a super interesting list. So here's what caught my attention about that list. Is I'm sitting there and I'm going through it and I'm like, oh, it seems like there's a lot of quarterbacks on this list, which makes sense, right? You have a lot of top teams replacing quarterbacks. But I felt I was fascinated by the quarterbacks that were on the list and the ones that were left off. Okay. So for instance, there were 10 quarterbacks on the list in one way, shape, or form.
Like
right?
as an X factor.
Yes.
Okay.
So some of them were like their health. Some of them were big games. That was DJ Lagway because the shoulder.
Oh, gotcha.
Some of them were their big game performances. That's Drew Aller.
Yeah.
Like some of them were just the guy. Like Notre Dame, their X factor is just, is CJ Carr good or not? That's basically, that's not what they said exactly.
But that's more of a question.
Yes, but that's the X
but
factor.
to
Like
each their own,
one
I
way or
suppose,
the
yeah.
other. Same thing with like Oregon and Dante Moore, Alabama, Ty Simpson, all those guys, right? Michigan and Bryce Underwood. Those are the only ones that haven't actually played. Or CJ Carr, Ty Simpson, and Bryce Underwood. Obviously, Dante Moore played a bit 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But so I found it fascinating, though, the guys they decided to include there and then the guys they left off, right? Because there's a bunch of guys they left off that didn't play last year or didn't play in the spots they're in now. Texas and Arch Manning.
Yeah, that should definitely be their X factor.
Right?
And again, I'm big on Arch, but it's 90 pass attempts to oblivion, right?
Yes.
We don't know anything else outside of what we saw from him, and we didn't see much.
Arch Manning is not included on the X Factor list, but Garrett Nussmeier is.
That is interesting.
Like
we know plenty more about.
We
Nuss.
know about Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah.
Like we know that guy at the very least is a productive SEC quarterback.
Yeah.
Over a full entire season. He's at the same spot he was last year. It's not even a new situation for him. I don't understand why Garrett Nussmeier is on the list, but Arch Manning, Gunnar Stockton, Ohio State, whoever they decide to play, Austin Simmons, aren't on the list. Like, I don't understand that.
That is interesting. We do give a lot of benefit of the doubt, the general we.
Yeah,
right.
the royal we.
The royal we.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of general consensus that this guy will be good, right? And what's so interesting, and I kind of went back and I was looking this up the other night. It was I think it was Sunday night that I went back and I was trying to look up some older stuff. And it's so hard to find last year's articles of leading in from like national websites. But Dylan wasn't getting a lot of that type of love nationally the way that some of these incoming freshman quarterbacks are. And
so I will say the only true freshman that's really getting that is Bryce Underwood.
Saying a little bit. But he's,
But they're not even sure he's going to get the job. Though.
Right.
So like that's where I put a hesitation on saying. But and to be fair, they're not really sure Bryce Underwood's going to get the job either.
Right. Yeah.
Although I think.
But he put on 15 pounds. He's in the best shape of his life.
Hey, that's great. I don't know if you can play quarterback. Like, remember that one time Jason Sehorn got? You probably don't. There was this white cornerback for the Giants named Jason Sehorn.
You don't think I know about the legend of Jason Sehorn?
Of course. You're the white ballast of the show.
My generation's Cooper DeJean.
When Austin and I do the show together, it's called Off-White with but like every year they'd be like, oh man, look how jacked he is. He's like this great workout warrior, and he'd get hurt every single year. So like, I don't know that I'm putting a ton of stock in though. He put on 15 pounds. He looks great.
Yeah.
If we don't know if he can play yet.
Also a little weird just to hear it from an incoming college freshman.
Yeah, it's pretty young.
I don't understand that. That's why I'm not high on Michigan though. It just feels like we have all of the makings of just a problematic season.
Yeah.
They have the quarterback that people are iffy on. They brought in a late quarterback in the middle of their summer without having any camp or anything, any reason to really justify bringing in a quarterback in that situation, right? Then your coach decides when he's going to be picking his opportunity to not be coaching the team in critical junctures. And then on the other side, too, I just don't trust the roster. And I know everyone looks at, they're a couple years out of the college football playoff. They ended on a hot streak last year. They play well under Sharon Moore.
They lost a ton on their defense.
Yes.
Like, that was a really good defense. They lost a ton of stuff.
And their defense kept them in a lot of games.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen, the concerns about Michigan are fair.
Yeah.
Right? And if you don't want to put Michigan on the list, which they were, he was on, Bryce Underwood was the X Factor for Michigan. I would actually understand having other X Factors for Michigan because of all the things you just brought up.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Sharon Moore thing, whether it's what they're replacing on defense. Like, there are enough questions there that I could actually understand him not being the X Factor. For Texas, Arch Manning is literally like the biggest hole that they're filling, right?
Yeah.
Like, they ended up on the list. They put him as the middle of their defensive line, which I understand. They had good defensive line last year. They lost some guys. Like, I get it. But if you're Texas, the reason you're assuming Arch Manning is going to be good is because of what's around him, which means he's the X factor.
Right.
Right? Like, if you're giving him the benefit of the doubt because of what's around him and his system, then he is the variable.
Yeah. To me, an X factor, when we speak in terms of college football, always relates to a team's ceiling or floor. If the X factor, if it's a player, position group, whatever, coaches, whatever, if they are at their highest peak performance, that's how the team reaches their best potential.
Yeah.
And if they are at their worst, that's how the team hits their floor. So if Arch Manning is at his worst, that means Texas is fumbling through quarterbacks. They go 9-3, 8-4, something like that, right?
Yeah.
If the middle of their defensive line does not perform well, they're probably still going to be SEC contenders, correct?
Most likely, unless it's like atrociously bad.
Yes,
which
right.
I'm just assuming by the
They just
talent,
run gap.
by the I'm just assuming by the overall talent of the roster, it's not going to be disastrous.
Yes,
right.
right.
It's not going to be Nebraska special teams bad.
That's $40 million worth of Texas money. There,
like I have a pretty good feeling there's at least going to be some level of talent on that roster in the middle of the defensive line. Where you're not just sitting there and being like, oh, none of these guys can play in the SEC. That's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So Arch Manning is, to me, I look at it as like the variable in the equation, right? If I'm plugging in the things that I know to get to this answer.
Solve for X.
Yeah, exactly, right? If the answer to the equation, and for Texas, the answer to the equation is SEC champs, because they were just picked. We'll get to that in a second. They were picked to be the SEC champs. Obviously, that means they're in the college football playoff. They have national title expectations, right? At the very least, make it into the Final Four. The only variable in that equation, in my opinion, not the only, but the biggest variable in that equation is Arch Manning. He's thrown 90 pass attempts in his career.
Yeah.
We know almost nothing about Arch Manning. Like, really, we don't.
Yeah.
We know almost nothing about Arch Manning as a college quarterback. We know even less about Bryce Underwood, which makes sense. He's on the list. But we know almost nothing about Gunnar Stockton either, and he didn't make the list either.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
for Georgia, Gunnar Stockton's a huge X factor for them. I don't understand why he's not on the list. And you know what they put on there? It wasn't even like, oh, we got to replace the 18 million defenders that have been drafted. It's no wide receiver Colby Young. Listen, I get that 1 billion drops last year.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But if Gunnar Stockton isn't good, it doesn't matter how good Colby Young is.
Yeah, sometimes this stuff is a little bit more cut and dry, right? Like you have to make it not as difficult, but yeah, even especially Ole Miss and Austin Simmons, that's a very interesting one because they just went from a quarterback that was their all-time leading passer, I'm pretty sure.
Got drafted in the first round.
Yes.
Like they had a first-round draft quarterback, and now they're going to a guy who they love, but again, has not really played college football.
Yeah. And then to not put Carson Beck on there is very interesting.
And you know who they put on there for Ole Miss instead? Wide receiver Caden Lee.
It's interesting. That's like saying for Nebraska, the biggest X factor this season is Carter Nelson.
Or, I mean, I'd say like it's more like Isaiah Hunter. Like if it'd be like saying Isaiah Hunter is the biggest X factor for Nebraska.
Which did you see? I was there, but did you see the video of Carter?
Yes.
Dude's thick.
Yeah. He's shifting into full-fledged tight end mode.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
He had that biscuit to turn him into a tight end.
To be fair, he was playing 8-man football, so he couldn't.
Well, he needed some time to.
Not enough food in Ainsworth to really, feed that. So.
I mean, obviously not, right? Like, you could buy out all the food in Ainsworth, and he probably still needs not hitting his macros. You know,
probably.
That's a big boy.
No, he ran the mile. He looked healthy, looked good.
You gotta be careful with that cardio, Carter.
That is true.
You're gonna ruin the gains.
Very cautious.
Don't ruin the gains.
As you know, you were taking as few steps as possible.
100%. Park right next to the door.
Okay, so back to Arch. We're going to learn very early about where Arch is playing at Ohio State in week 1, very first game, right?
Yeah.
Big noon kickoff, August 30th. It's the biggest game of week 1, bar none. Probably a top 4 matchup at minimum.
Well, I mean, Nebraska-Cincy, but that's on Thursday, so I'll give you a pass.
I don't think they're going to put Cincy in the top 5. So
I'm gonna give you a pass on that one.
I'm a little biased, but nonetheless.
Not a big Brendan Sorsby guy.
Did you see his I saw this from Elijah Herbal posted this that they went back to Big 10 or Big 12 media days and found the clip of Sorsby talking about like what's his pregame routine.
Yeah.
His favorite artist to listen to, Coldplay. They're lucky that's not a home game because that would be great.
So I mean, listen, full disclosure, a big Coldplay fan.
Yeah,
I love Coldplay.
Who doesn't like Coldplay?
Probably that CEO, not a huge fan right now. But obviously he was big enough fan to buy the tickets.
Yes, true.
So, and it appeared to be in a suite, so good for him.
Living that Ravi lifestyle.
It was a Storm Chaser suite, and it was free.
Two very different things. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
I think the price points are a bit different there, bud. And on occasion, I have listened to certain Coldplay songs to get me a little jacked up.
Okay.
I used to listen to some before. See, it's a nice mix, right?
Yeah.
Because
I'm big The Scientist guy.
Great song.
Yeah.
Not my go-to before a game.
Fair.
I'll be honest. Fix You might be my favorite song from anyone of all time. Love that song. I would go that pregame a lot. Here's the thing that I like about going Coldplay a little before pregame, right? So I'm going to let you on a little secret here.
All right.
You got to lower our voices.
Okay.
I'm not a big, get super psyched up before competition guy. I kind of like to be even-keeled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like having my mind clear.
Yeah.
Like having kind of like a
do it how I practice.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Even when I was powerlifting, I wasn't like, don't slap me on the back, don't hit me with ammonia. Like, I want to be able to hit this lift in suboptimal conditions.
Yep.
Right. So I was never a big let's get it to a 12 and then go try and lift it. That's also, I feel like, how people get injured. Like, either I can lift it or I can't. Don't give me the extras. All right.
Yep.
So I would listen to. I liked that Coldplay. There were certain songs like Fix You, for instance, that kind of put me in sort of like a zenful place.
Yeah.
But then they ramp up a little bit. And so you're like, okay, I've got a little energy, but I'm feeling very at peace. So listen, I'm not going to hate on him for the Coldplay, especially as a quarterback. Yeah. Keep the mind clear. You got to clear the mechanism.
I got to find this song. The theme from, it's Explosion in the Sky, Your Hand in Mine, the Friday Night Lights soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
When they play at the very end.
Yes.
That one. No words needed.
Bum, bum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love that one.
I can play that one.
Yeah,
it just takes you right back.
Absolutely.
It's perfect, and it peaks at the right time
in the place.
Yeah, it's amazing.
As a quarterback, not going to hate on Brendan Sorsby for trying to have a clear head. I like it.
Anyway, back to Arch Manning. Wow, this show I've fallen into DB's trap. How dare I? So
people think it's DB's fault. It's mostly mine. All right. If we're being honest here.
Okay, so do you think after one game sample at Ohio State, we can definitively say that's who Arch Manning will be, good or bad? Like,
No.
if he throws for 300 yards
No.
against Ohio State, wins the game.
No.
Okay.
Because listen, we didn't plan this, but it's going to work out. That's the perfect example of what I'm talking about, of getting too psyched up for a lift. That's not a true result.
Okay.
Right? Regardless of what happens there. Now, you'd be like, okay, it's
if
in
he throws
there.
for 50 yards and 3 interceptions, you're not going to.
No, because it's like, listen, that's a really big spot for the first time full starter. Like, that's a weird spot to be in. I'm not going to say, oh, Arch sucks after that.
Okay.
I might be like, hey, probably should pump the brakes a little bit on the national title talk until we figure if this thing's real or not.
Right.
But that's an example where you go, yeah, if he really struggles, listen, that's a great Ohio State team, most likely. I think it's going to be a really good team, regardless whether they win the national title again or not. Like, that's a really good team. That's a tough spot to open your season as the full-time starter for the very first time when you've only got 90 passes under your belt as a college quarterback. I get that. On the other side, if he throws for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, I'm going to think the same thing. It's like, that's the ammonia shot that helps you hit that deadlift.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's real or not. Like, there's an adrenaline there. It's kind of like the Nebraska-Colorado game. Like, the Nebraska-Colorado game ended up not being a real sample of what Nebraska was throughout the season. Ended up not being a real sample of who Colorado was throughout the season either. Colorado was better in that game, and Nebraska wasn't as good as they were in that game for the rest of the season. So, like, to me, that was Nebraska got that big old slap on the back before they went and hit their bench, and they got that ammonia sniff right before they hit their deadlift, and they were hyped up to a degree that didn't end up being a real result the rest of the season.
It's a fair point.
I think that could be true with Arch Manning here in Texas as well. So I'm not, either way it goes, I'm not going to have a hot take about Arch Manning after week 1 against Ohio State, because that to me is an artificial result in terms of projecting the rest of the season. Obviously it counts. We're going to look back to it in November and December and be like, well, if we got a tiebreaker here between Texas and Ohio State, or if we're trying to figure out seeding, that game's going to matter. That's not what I mean. I mean, for Arch specifically, I don't think you're going to get a true feel for who he is in that game.
So not until SEC play? Or do you think you can get a little – because they're following 3 non-conference games. San Jose State at home, UTEP at home, Sam Houston at home, and then they'll have Florida to open up SEC play on October 4th.
I mean, honestly, probably not. Best case scenario, you probably don't know who he is until halfway through the season.
Okay.
At the best case scenario.
When does he hit 90 pass attempts?
So probably
Sam Houston, right?
Game 3.
You think game 3? So
yeah.
30 attempts and 3.
So he'll probably be a little heavier against Ohio State, but you imagine the next what's game 2?
San Jose.
So San Jose is probably a blowout. He's probably not airing it out there. Probably doesn't quite get to 90, because 45 in 2 games is a lot.
I still think it'd be Sam Houston. I think they're going to run the ball quite a bit in those first 3.
Oh, Sam, you got him as the 4th?
Yeah.
I think it's
because you could see where he throws like 18 passes against UTEP.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
you do have some of those where they really blow a team out, where it's like he went 9 for 11 and it was great. He threw 400 yards on those passing attempts. So yeah, I could definitely see that, but I don't think it's before game 3 for sure.
Yeah,
but no, I think it's one of those things where best case scenario it is by middle of the season, and you might not know yet, because that's the thing about, like, nobody's really denying the talent.
Yeah,
right. It's, can you go out and do it every week? It's the problem we have with Carson Beck still, right? Yeah. Carson Beck's ceiling is like number 1 pick in the draft high. That's what they were talking about him as before the season before the season started last year. The problem is he throws 3 picks in the first half against Bama, and he led the SEC in interceptions. And like, there is a variance there with him on a week-to-week basis, sometimes on a half-to-half basis, where you can't really say, hey, he's going to be this guy on this drive.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about when you're putting the Arch Mannings of the world in the conversations that we're putting him in. The DJ Lagways, the Lenora Sellers were like, hey, these could be the 3 best quarterbacks in college football this year. It's like, Lenora Sellers, we've got the biggest sample size on, but we don't really have a sample size on him with South Carolina as a potential playoff contender. So that's a different thing. Like, that's the thing we're waiting on from Dylan Raiola too, right?
Yeah.
We know he can be good. We know it can be bad. What is he going to be on any given day? That's the thing we're waiting to find out.
What's Dylan's X factor? Not Nebraska's, but what's Dylan's? Is it consistency?
I think Dylan's X factor is his success rate pushing the ball downfield.
I think that would be the biggest gripe a lot of detractors had from his season last year. Or even general fans, I think, would say that is the one thing. If he completed 50% of his deep balls, Nebraska has a completely different season last year.
And I mean, not just on the ones he throws, but on the ones he didn't throw last year that he probably should have.
Right.
Right. So
great point. Yes.
That, I think, is going to be, for me, I think that opens everything else up. That's why things got pretty tight for Dillon in the middle of the season, is because they weren't really honoring the deep ball anymore, amongst other things, right?
Right.
The run game wasn't going the way it needed to. Lots of things were happening, right? But if you're able to stretch the field, like I could make the argument that part of the reason the run game wasn't going was because they didn't have to stretch the field. They could crowd the box a little bit. The reason the short passing game wasn't going and the tight ends weren't getting as involved as we wanted them to is because they weren't having to honor in the deep ball, and they were able to crowd the box a little bit and keep guys closer to the line of scrimmage. So, to me, his ability and part of it is play calling too.
Yep.
I feel like we didn't take enough shots or give him enough shot opportunities to do that last year as well.
Well, I know there was a couple of times, and I don't remember if it was DB or not, so I don't want to put him on his spot. But I know there were a couple of times that other people had said that receivers had trouble getting off the line as well, which kind of makes a difference too.
Yeah,
so that can be an issue.
That was the big. It was the Georgia quarterback that did the breakdown.
Oh yes,
after,
Aaron Murray.
Aaron Murray, yeah. I want to say Aaron Glenn. I was like, that's a safety. That's not that. That's not that.
Not quite Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, Aaron Murray, and that was an issue with some of the guys last year. And credit to Aaron Murray, I didn't think that was the case when he made the video. Obviously, that ended up being the case. So, credit where credit's due there. But yeah, there's I think that would be the thing for Dillon is if he's able to consistently push the ball down the field with success, then that opens up a whole, we're going Aladdin here, whole new world for Nebraska's offense. Magic carpet ride. We're going to have a great time.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you.
The only other thing I would think about is Dillon's ability to keep defenses honest with his feet a little bit.
Okay. So not decision-making. Because box score watchers would point at
I don't have a
14 and 11, and they would say
13. I think.
Was it 13?
Yeah.
Okay, so if 13 and 11, they'd point at
not
that,
counting bowl game.
Right. They would say, "Oh well, clearly you need to be able to fix this. You always want more touchdowns than more interceptions."
I don't have a problem with his decision making. I
still make the argument that several of those interceptions were the 50-50 balls in his first two, and that some of the other ones. I don't write them off. They were bad decisions, but they were almost freshman quarterback decisions. That the Rutgers one where he threw it straight out of linebacker is one that you watch on Sunday morning. You go, that was really dumb. I'm not going to make that mistake again.
I would say at least half of his interceptions, I didn't have a problem with the decision. Now, sometimes he didn't execute the throw. That's a different thing, right? At least a few times it was on the receiver. I mean, there's two that were 50-50 balls. And then I think there were a couple, at least one more that I can think of off the top of my head where it appeared to be a receiver decision where they either didn't finish the route they were supposed to or something to that effect. So, that's 3 of the 9 right there before I even have to stretch too far. I don't really have a problem with the decision-making. I get those interceptions are still likely going to happen some. You're going to lose some 50-50 balls. You're going to have a ball go off a receiver's hands and end up being a pick. I don't have a problem with that, but that's not a decision issue, right? That to me, I didn't think his decision-making was an issue last year, except when sometimes he wouldn't let it go. Sometimes he probably needed to be more aggressive, even if not just a sack, going, hey, I've got a guy even, but I don't want to throw it. I'm going to throw this check down instead, right? Where probably need to give your receiver a chance. Now, he lost those 50-50 balls, so it probably stuck in his head a little bit, or if it's a 50-50 ball, I don't know if we win that. I'm trying not to turn the ball over. But if we're the only decision-making thing, and this is why I kind of wrapped it into the deep ball conversation, was there are some times I need him to let that ball go deep and live with the results.
Right, yeah.
Because that's the right decision to make in that situation, right? If you've got a guy even, there's no help over top, you have to let that ball go and live with the results.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's to me, that's why I brought up some of the balls that he didn't throw in the deep game as part of what I was considering the X factor, because that to me does matter.
Yeah.
But again, I don't even think that's bad decision-making. It's just, I almost say a little immature decision-making. Bad decision-making is not being able to see the coverage, throwing it to right to a linebacker because you missed him dropping back into the kind of the midfield
and
area.
He did have a few of those.
He did have a couple. He had a couple
UCLA,
of those. Yeah, for sure.
Rutgers, I think the Indiana interception.
There was an Indiana one for sure. But like I said, I would say at least half of his interceptions I didn't think were decision-making issues. When I say not a bad decision versus an immature decision, sometimes you have to understand that the risk is worth it in a situation. And so that takes some maturity and growth to know, hey, this is a place where I need to take this shot, and it's okay. It's okay in this situation if it doesn't go the way we want it to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you never want to throw an interception. But I mean, we've all heard the term arm punt. There's certain situations where it's not super detrimental.
So it's not deep ball accuracy. It's more.
I mean, the deep ball accuracy is part of that.
Yeah, in-play decision making.
Part of it. I think it's the whole deep ball part of the passing game.
Okay.
So the decision making, there were some he just missed. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
There were some that he didn't throw, and I think the play calling needs to be a little bit more aggressive with some of those as well to open some of those up.
Yeah.
So that's all facets of the deep ball passing game, in my opinion, not just Dylan's decision making or Dylan executing the throw or the receivers winning 50-50 balls or the play calling. It's all of those things in the deep ball game. That's the X factor to me. If Nebraska has an effective deep passing game, then watch out, because the rest of it I think is there.
And then that other layer of that onion, obviously, so that's Dylan's X factor. But if you talk about the deep ball passing, you talk about the deep ball game, the receivers in this year, and we're kind of repeating, we're rinsing and repeating what we had talked about last year, right? That Jamal Banks and Isaiah Nair are coming in. Oh, they're going to be different receivers than what Heinrich Harburg had in the year prior. So what does this season look like for Dylan Raiola when he's pushing the ball downfield?
Mm-hmm.
Do you trust Dane Key and Isaiah Hunter to make those type of plays comparative to what you saw? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do. And
to be fair, I didn't even include Ja'Cory Barney in that because I just translated it with 2 transfer receivers and 2 transfer receivers. But a second-year Ja'Cory Barney is a completely different addition to this offense comparative to what we thought about Nebraska's offense last year.
And I know how he was used last year. I think they're going to use him to stretch the field this year too. A lot of his stuff was right around the line of scrimmage last year because they were just finding a way to get him the ball.
Yeah.
I think they're going to stretch the field with him this year as well. I do think Key and Hunter are really interesting to me because I do think as big of a body as Jamal Banks was, he wasn't always that physical of a receiver. We saw it in the blocking game.
Right.
And he wasn't really given an opportunity for jump balls either. He didn't really end up in that situation. Usually it was Isaiah Nair because he was taller. I don't think Isaiah Nair was his best skill set necessarily, was winning 50-50 balls. I do think it's a better skill set for Key. I do think it's a better skill set for Hunter. Hunter's a super physical receiver.
Yeah.
That dude is built and mentality-wise has what you need out of a physical receiver. I think you can put some balls, not in harm's way, but kind of in a 50-50 zone with Hunter, and you're going to end up on the right side of that more often than not. So that's a huge difference for the Hunter part of it. And Key, I think, is just I just think he's a better receiver than either of the guys they brought in last year.
Yeah.
That's and no hate to Nair or Banks there, but I just think Key's better. I think both of these guys are better than the guys they brought in last year. And so I do like that. And listen, I think Barney's going to be really, really good. I've talked about it a little bit. And there's some other wide receivers that I think are going to be that we haven't really talked a ton about yet that we can talk about later that I think we're missing that are going to be factors this year.
Little Dave in chat, we want more passes like in game 1 to Nair, which is so interesting. And I think it's something we almost overlooked a little bit, but you can look back on how the season transpired. That first game against UTEP, granted it's UTEP, it's the first game. It's almost kind of the same thing you were saying about Arch in that Ohio State game. The energy and everything that came in, Dylan was as hyped up as he could be. The offense looked really good for most stretches of that contest. They were pushing the ball downfield. They took chances. They won a late 30-second drive to score a touchdown at the end of the first half. And then past then, you look at the next couple of games, Dylan has a pretty solid performance. I wouldn't say it was an overall good performance against Colorado, but they won the game by multiple scores. So you can't discredit that. He throws the interception. That's a 50-50 ball to Jalen Lloyd down the field against Northern Iowa, and then loses a 50-50 ball against Illinois in a Friday night game with
Nair.
And then Nebraska ends up losing that game in overtime, in which he gets kind of sacked all the way back down the field, right?
That's a deep ball that he missed to Lindemeyer.
Right, correct. So did those 2 games back-to-back, the Northern Iowa and then Illinois, maybe affect a little bit of the mentality of a young quarterback? And I'm not saying this is just Dylan, but in a young quarterback's mind, this is almost like media 101. This is what we're almost trained to say. Oh, well, this, it's kind of a fragile mindset. How do you get themselves out of that type of situation and get them back into being aggressive, getting them back to pushing the ball down the field? And I'd argue one of the best throws that he had then later on in the season is actually one of those first quarter drives against UCLA when he rolls out and just throws a prayer up to Ja'Cory Barney and gets the ball downfield. But then everyone in the stadium's going, no. What are we doing? But it's still a completion either way.
Yeah.
And then you even look to the Pinstripe Bowl. he was pushing the ball a little bit
Yeah.
more downfield in Holgorsen's offense, of course, but he throws an interception on one of the first drives of the game.
Yeah, I do think there's, for a young quarterback, and I don't even think it's being like mentally fragile or anything. I think Dillon's a super cerebral quarterback, right? So I think he is considering a lot of factors when.
Yeah, the numbers are like on the chalkboard in front of him when he's like playing the
like
game.
He's doing
right?
the beautiful mind thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think when he drops back and he goes, oh, that guy's even. Like, if you lose that 50-50 ball with Isaiah Nair, like, maybe you don't want to throw on that 50-50 ball to Isaiah Nair again.
Right.
Like, if you.
And, like, I know what you're trying to say, too. Not every 50-50 ball is 50-50 depending on the receiver.
Yes, right. And depending on the defender, right? Like,
it looks 50-50, but different receivers do not allow you to have that same percentage.
A 50-50 ball to Calvin Johnson's a 90-10 ball, right?
Yes,
like, you know what I mean?
There's
there's a different thing there.
Yeah.
So, and I get that's an extreme example, but you're in a position where I think he is going through these machinations and calculations in his head as this is happening, where he goes, okay, if this guy's even, I can probably throw it there. I trust him come down with the ball. If this guy is, I probably need to check down because I don't know that we're coming away with that one. And in this situation, an interception is more detrimental than it would be because we're in a 2-minute drive. We need at least a field goal here. You know, a touchdown helps, but an interception kills us and a field goal keeps us alive. Like, you're going through a lot of variables in your head in real time. Some of that's before the line of scrimmage, before you get to the play, like as you're walking through kind of like time and space and situation. But some of that's happening in real time. And so I think if you trust your wide receivers more, that's a huge part of it. And then you brought up the Pinstripe Bowl. Dana Holgorsen famously calling plays in that one.
Yes.
Like, I think you're going to see more aggressive play calling as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things that lead me to believe that X factor is going to go the way I need it to for Nebraska to have the season that I think they're going to have. But it is, for me, in the passing game, by far the biggest question mark.
And I'm doing a pet project currently, just for my own knowledge and to feed into some stuff that you and DB will eventually talk about as well. I'm sure after these media days wrap up today, tomorrow, and so on. But there's something about Dana Holgorsen quarterbacks that everyone just assumes that, well, the quarterbacks have played well, they have these statistics, that sort of thing. Here's another thing about Dana Holgorsen quarterbacks. Yes, they have thrown the ball more. They have uber amounts of attempts. Famously, Case Keenum is one of the all-time passers in college football history statistically because he threw 500 pass attempts almost every single season. The one thing that Dana Holgorsen allows his quarterbacks to do is to make mistakes. All of his quarterbacks usually have almost double-digit interceptions, except for a couple of years of Geno Smith, that they will have years in which they will throw the ball downfield, they will take chances, and sometimes that plays will go off or whatever the case is. But Dana doesn't discourage the ability to throw the football. He trusts his quarterbacks to make decisions. And you're rewarded in that because instead of a quarterback touchdown interception ratio of 13-11 or 13-10 or whatever, they're 34-10 or they're 38-12.
Yeah.
Those are really good numbers that I think if your touchdowns are 20 more than interceptions, you'll live with 10 interceptions.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not about the number of interceptions, it's about the fact that, like, if Dillon last year had ended up with 18 touchdowns and 11 interceptions.
How many more wins is that?
21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
Yeah.
Like, nobody cares about the 11 interceptions. We'd be like, it'd be nice if we took care of the ball a little bit better, but we're not losing sleep over the touchdown interception ratio. We're not losing sleep over, and a lot of that's on receivers and a lot of that's on play calling.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of that's on Dillon too. He's got to get better from year 1 to year 2, but I look at that and I go, okay, he was a true freshman. He's going to get better.
Yeah.
You've got Dana Holgorsen this year. The play calling is going to be better. And I like Marcus Satterfield better than most, but Dana Holgorsen, like, I'm going to have a hard time using both hands to count the number of guys I would take over Dana Holgorsen in terms of play calling. Like, it's not a long list. So regardless of who the offensive coordinator was before, it was going to be an upgrade to bring in Dana Holgorsen. That's just who he is as a play caller. So, like, all of that's improved for him. I have no reason to believe it's not going to be that second-year jump that we're hoping for and that Nebraska needs.
Right, yeah. Sid in chat, Dillon had 34 touchdowns, only 1 interception in his senior year of high school. Over 3 years, he was 88 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Just an interesting fact. And that goes to your point. He's a cerebral quarterback.
Yeah, do
you know how many? Maybe there are a lot of great high school offensive coordinators. I don't think Dillon had all of the 3 greatest high school offensive coordinators during his time.
No.
Changing high schools and such.
Well, and here's the interesting thing is, and I know this gets used against him. I'll be like, he changed high school 3-4 times, whatever. You're talking about different receivers. You're talking about different offensive coordinators. You're talking about different offensive lines. You're talking about different systems.
Different competitions, all that stuff.
And the results were very similar across those 3 things, right? So there's more of a constant here with Dillon's decision-making than I think there is with he threw a lot of interceptions last year.
Yeah.
And to be clear, like you said, 11's not even that many.
No.
Like, it's really not.
Yeah.
It's more than you want, probably. You'd love to keep it under double digits. But
and again, the only reason you have an issue with 11 is because he didn't have more touchdowns.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as pretty.
And let's be honest. Let's switch just the two 50-50 balls. All of a sudden, it's 15-9, and we're probably having a different conversation.
Yes. Yeah. 15-9, a lot of people
feels way better than 13-11.
Again, there's just
right.
We went through it last week with the top 40 quarterback ranking and everything. If he went 15-9, the box score watchers across a lot of national college football,
he'd be 20th.
Look a lot better. He'd look a lot better.
I don't. And let's not forget, he threw the ball over 400 times last year.
67% completion rate.
And a sub 3% interception rate.
I mean, that's
like famously.
That's very good.
We talked about this last week. DJ Lagway, 2 full percentage points above that. Like, I get that the number was lower, but this is why you can't be just a box score watcher.
Yep.
Like,
we got to start handing out bingo sheets for this show.
The box score watcher.
Box score watcher. DJ Lagway mentioned.
Competitive stamina. Like, yes.
Damon eats unfrozen meat or something like that. Yeah. Refrigerated food.
But like 2.7 interception percentage, like 11 interceptions over 400 attempts, or whatever 2.7 comes out to if you go 500 attempts, whatever that number is. Like, you'll take that. That's not a bad number. The problem is the touchdown percentage probably needs to be twice what it was.
Yeah.
Right? But again, just flip the two 50-50 balls. Or, like, I don't know, pick Isaiah and Nair not getting alligator arms against Iowa.
Yeah.
Like, that's not on Dylan.
I forgot about that.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah,
like, that's not on Dylan. What do you want me to do?
Yep.
The guy just didn't reach. Like, that was a touchdown. He was going to score.
Yes. Yep.
Like, what do you want me to do with that? I'm supposed to put that on Dylan?
Yep. You're right. You're 100% correct.
Absolutely not. Isaiah Hunter's taking that to the house.
Yes.
It's over.
Yep.
Dane Key's taking that to the house. Like this. So I can't sit here and be concerned about the 13-11. I'm not concerned about the decision-making. I think he makes good decisions for the vast majority. Everybody occasionally makes a bad read and throws a pick. That's why you don't have 0 interceptions at any level of football.
Yep.
Like, it just doesn't happen. You'll make a bet, or pop off a receiver's hands and they'll have an interception or whatever. Like, he will make a handful of bad decisions. That's part of playing the game. I'm not concerned about his decision-making.
Not all interceptions are created equal.
100%. I've been an advocate of a receiver interception stat for a very long time. It'd be hard to do because you need to know what route they were trying to run. But if you could get that information, I would be fascinated of how many balls go off receivers' hands, get intercepted.
You know how differently we'd evaluate quarterbacks?
Yes.
If we had that?
Because
there's a lot of quarterbacks out there, and professionally, the one that I think of mostly is Matthew Stafford. So I think Matthew Stafford's had a lot where he's like just yucking it up and throwing it and just giving chances. There's been a lot, and especially in those Lions days when he was not throwing to Megatron, that they were going off people's hands and going in the dirt, and someone was dropping him or fumbling around and got picked off. Like his stats would be significantly different.
Well, and then you've got guys like, okay, if a receiver runs the wrong route and the quarterback throws it to where the guy was supposed to be, like, is that on the quarterback? No. Now, that's hard to do because then you'd have to know what route they were supposed to run, like I was saying before. But
Lane makes a good point, too. We've talked so much about the interceptions, but Raiola fumbled 7 times last year, only lost 2 of them. Fumble luck is just fumble luck, right? Like, sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time to pick them up, but it's the amount of fumbles that are concerning with the quarterback. But that also goes to kind of what you're saying about his, like, decision-making and the ability to get the ball out and not hold it for an extra second to wait for someone that's even and to anticipate a throw that goes down, or to make a decision, hey, I got to get this out here to go somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
There was, and notably, that same Iowa game with the Nair drop, and then you couple it with the last late sack and fumble that Raiola had that set up the Iowa game winner. Those are the type of moments that you can look at both sides and say, okay, this was good Dylan where something bad happened on the opposite end, and then this is also a moment where, oh no, pressure bear down, didn't see it in time, didn't check it, whatever the case was in that moment, and then couldn't hold on to the football in a critical moment when Iowa was able to jump on it. Those are things. This is my biggest part about it, too. And I've been staunch on this with everything that's been happening really since the Pinstripe Bowl. I feel like all of Dylan Raiola's mistakes are correctable, and I think he knows it, too. None of these are a talent issue. None of these are things that he can't not do, right? He can get better in all these phases, and the best way that he can get better is through a great offensive mind, and he's got that with Dana Holgorsen.
Absolutely. And the last thing I'll say about this before we take a break is I actually think bad decision-making is sometimes not correctable. We see that all the time.
Yep.
That's why I'm confident in this because I don't think that's an issue.
Yep.
Bad decision making is why a lot of quarterbacks can't ever figure it out. That was the big concern about Josh Allen coming out. He's throwing a lot of picks, had a really low completion percentage. You go, is this guy going to be able to make decisions at an NFL level? And obviously he is, right? Obviously he figured that part of it out. Does cut his turnovers down even from the NFL, his early NFL days, dramatically. Like, he's figured out how to be a good decision maker. A lot of guys, if you're a bad decision maker, like Jameis Winston's not a good decision maker, he's never going to be a good decision maker.
He is almost a 50-50 quarterback, touchdown interception.
You're just and you have to live with it.
Yep.
The one outlier season was his freshman year at Florida State when he went like 40-10, which was bonkers. But it's basically caught up with him the rest of his career. He's been who he is the rest of his career. He is a questionable decision maker at best, no matter how many opportunities he gets. And listen, I've talked to Kenny Bell about this. Jameis is a wizard on the whiteboard. Like, he's a great film, study, whiteboard, like all of the things you think about with a quarterback, about being smart within the game, Jameis is great at. Like, Kenny's told me about this because I'm fascinated by Jameis as somebody who likes Florida State because that guy's a character.
Right. Eating dubs.
Yeah, like he's just – but they room together. Like, he knows Jameis really well. He was telling me about how good he is on the whiteboard. I remember at the Elite 11 camp when he was coming out of high school, he was really good on the whiteboard. He was really good at that part of the game. It's not even about that. Once he gets in the game, he makes bad decisions.
Yeah.
Like, so those are two separate things. You can't just look at Jameis and think he's a dummy because he acts weird and he talks about eating W's. And I think because the way he sounds, like he's got kind of a voice where you're like, oh, he must not be that smart, right? Because he kind of got that Southern, like, way. I don't know. He's not Cajun, but like it almost gives off like the Cajun guy vibes from Waterboy.
Well,
like,
he also speaks in like mystery whispers.
Yes, he does.
I don't think, like, much like me, sometimes when he speaks, he doesn't know how his sentence will end, and he just kind of rolls with it until he hits the period.
But yes, he's got a little Michael Scott to him, you know. And so there's.
I would have paid a lot of money to watch like an Office like series just called The Bucks, where it's just
Jameis. But yeah, so like you can be a genius on the whiteboard and still make bad decisions in the game, right? I don't have that concern about Dylan. I think he's a good decision maker. I think he just has to get into better positions with his receivers and his play calling and all of that. And I think they are this year. Let's take a quick break here. Just a nice 52-minute opening segment. Not a big deal.
It feels great. I think I've earned all my Hurrdat Sports Live co-host badges now.
We'll think about it. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if you've sworn on air yet. We gotta get that one.
Yeah, I can't just solder it and just say like
no.
My mom gave me permission to say it. I can't do that. So
my mom said I could swear. That's awesome. I'm Ravi. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming next.
Cheddar, we getting Rico. Big money rolls like burritos. Give me that hot sauce, no pico. Give me that.
Repping the Creighton hat, you got multiple Creighton alum. What does it mean to be a part of this?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Obviously, Ryan and Jemiah are about to play here right after us, and so repping the Blue Jays while we go watch them play. And then, it's fun also realizing that tomorrow's game's against Trey, and obviously been able to watch Baylor at the Celtics, and he's with a few of my other former teammates at Utah State. So it's been a lot of fun, a good summer league.
How much has this meant to you just to realize your dream and have an NBA chance?
Yeah, it's awesome. Being on the court and allowing to earn the trust of the coaches and things like that has been a process, but it's been fun, and it's all a part of the journey, and there's so much to learn out there, and it's going to be fun being able to pick apart the film and just learn where I can get better and improve.
So you're also playing with a former rival, Keisei Tominaga. What's it like seeing him go? Because he's also a sharpshooter like you.
Yeah, our games complement each other well. Obviously, there's a lot of gravity, and our shooting abilities complement each other, and it's nice to be on the same side of the ball of him rather than the opposite.
Would it be fun to do a little shoot-off between you guys ever?
Yeah, it'd be pressure. I mean, there's not a lot of misses, so he's top tier, and it's been fun being around him this summer league.
Ryan Kalkbrenner joining me now from NBA Summer League, a former Blue Jay. Getting your NBA chance, just what does this mean to you, Ryan, hearing your name called in the draft?
Yeah, it was a really, really special thing. I mean, you work your whole life to make it to this point, and, you know, the journey's not over, but it's definitely a huge step to get into, like, making a dream come true. So it's been a special journey so far. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better stop than Creighton, but, you know, one more stop to go.
Well, you told me after your freshman season you were looking for internships. Yeah. You weren't sure what you're going to do after basketball. How proud would that guy be of you right now?
The guy would be saying someone's lying to you if I'm in the NBA. So, yeah, I think he'd be very proud of how far I've come and you know, where I'm at today.
How much have you grown in your confidence and just how you are and your presence on the court?
Completely different guy. I wasn't talking at all my freshman year. I wasn't confident at all, and you know that's changed completely. You can't make it to this league, much less stay in it, without being confident and being sure of yourself and knowing what you do. And you know, I feel so much more prepared going into the league now than I would have my junior year, sophomore year, especially my freshman year.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Reminding you, if you're out on the road this morning, make sure you got that seatbelt fastened. It prevents injuries and saves lives, but only if worn properly. Make it click. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. All right, Austin.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Speaking of NDOT,
yeah,
I want to give a big shout out to all the 6:30 a.m. drivers out by the Q Street exit onto I-80.
Oh, were they doing a good job?
The merge, they were fantastic. We were efficient with it. We were crushing it. We let several semis in.
Love to see it.
It was immaculate. I was really proud of the Omaha Metro traffic today.
There's not a lot of times you can say that.
No,
to be honest with you.
And guaranteed right now, an hour after I said, right now, those people are very mad at me because they're probably stuck.
It is a cluster right now. I can guarantee that. Speaking of a little bit of a cluster, I mentioned earlier that Texas was picked to win the SEC.
Yeah.
By their poll over Georgia and Alabama. That order is not surprising.
Yep.
Texas, Georgia,
much like
Alabama.
Big Ten top 4. A lot of people agree.
Top 3 at least. I don't think anybody agrees on 4.
I don't know. I think a lot of people agree Illinois.
Well,
I guess you don't.
I don't.
So you're just arguing for yourself.
Yep.
Okay. So top 3. We'll go top 3. That's fine. I don't want to argue with you. So.
I also think there's a clear gap between 3 and 4, whoever it is, in the Big Ten.
Yes, I agree. Yep,
so
I
that's
agree with
more
that.
what
That's
I
fair.
mean.
Yes, yeah.
Like, it wouldn't shock me if 5 to 7 different teams finished 4th. It would shock me if one of those teams didn't finish in the the top 3. Right.
Yeah.
So that's more what I mean.
Okay.
Kind of the same thing with the SEC here, although there's a couple teams I could see creeping into their top 3, especially with Alabama. I don't know what Alabama season is going to be. I really don't. I don't know what Ty Simpson is. I don't know if things get rocky a little early. I don't know how hot things are going to get for Kalen DeBoer. That's a wild card for me with Alabama.
Right.
Their over-unders at 9.5, which
so
is
they have to get to double-digit wins.
Tied for the most. There's no 10 or more in the SEC. 9.5 is, I believe, Texas and Alabama lead the way there, which Texas being below 10, I also think is telling for what Vegas thinks about this team as opposed to what the rest of us think about this team.
What does Vegas know? Do the Windhorse hands.
What does Las Vegas know? They know that DB and Sasha and Avery are there right now.
Yes. Which great content coming from them in the next couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely. But so you go, let's just say Alabama goes to Florida State. That's a road game, first game of the season.
Yeah,
What if they lose that game, things get hot in a hurry.
Right.
Right? Because you'll get ULM, that's a win. Let's say they beat Wisconsin because I think Luke Fickell's in a weird spot. But then they go at Georgia.
Yeah, if you're 2-2 at the end of September,
that's
not good.
The wheels could fall off in Bama in a hurry.
If Bama has a top 25 ranking of number 2 and then another number after that, people will lose their mind.
Yeah,
in Tuscaloosa.
There is a real possibility for them to be 2-2 by the end of September, and at that point, we're gonna have lists of replacements for Kalen DeBoer.
Mm-hmm.
Just being totally honest, and then they've got. It doesn't get that much easier, depending what you think about Vanderbilt. I think that's probably a win. It's at home.
You could say it will get interesting, though.
Yes.
Vanderbilt will keep that game interesting.
Especially if at 2-2, the locker room isn't near as tight-knit as maybe you'd want it to be.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the temperature is down there. I really don't.
Right.
But I have to imagine at 2-2 with a coach that was sort of on the hot seat last year, it's gonna be interesting. Then you go at Missouri, and things kind of ease up for you for a little while, but then you got Tennessee at home. That's not a given. At South Carolina, if they're who people think they are, that's not a given.
You may be playing a Heisman Trophy contender.
And then you've got LSU, which we don't know what they are, right? But there's some, and
their toughest game in their schedule, Oklahoma.
I don't know about that.
Well, for Alabama,
I'm just saying, though, by the end of September, so I don't know, it wouldn't shock me if a team finished above Alabama. Georgia's interesting. I think Georgia's overall talent level's in a better spot than obviously Alabama's is. And obviously Kirby Smart's not on the hot seat, which certainly helps. So I don't think you have the wheels fall off version of this that you could possibly have.
Yeah, and you look at Georgia's schedule too.
Yeah, Marshall, Austin, PA. You got at Tennessee.
You could say at a worst case scenario, they're 3-1 at the end of September with a loss either to Tennessee or Georgia.
Or
Tennessee or Bama, yeah.
Yeah, I think at worst. I don't think they're going to lose both those games. Then you got Kentucky.
Man, you look at their SEC
at
schedule,
Auburn.
that is very favorable.
Yeah, Ole Miss, Florida, neutral site, at Mississippi State, that's easy. They don't really have a problem again until Texas.
Yeah.
Georgia's schedule is pretty manageable. So if they finished outside the top 3, I'd be stunned.
Yeah.
Alabama, not so much. But I do sit here and I go, okay, here's where it got interesting, though. You know who got 2 first-place votes?
Ole Miss?
No, Ole Miss got 1.
Okay.
Tennessee got 1. There are 2 teams that got 2 votes that I think are both worse than those 2 teams.
LSU.
Nope.
Well,
LSU got a handful of votes.
Okay.
I didn't write them all down, but
so each of these 2 teams got 2?
There's 2 teams that got 2.
Oh, geez. Did people just throw some to Auburn for
Nope.
some or no reason? Okay.
It's worse than that, I think.
It's worse than that? Florida?
Florida got 2 first
okay,
place
Florida
votes.
got 2, which is ridiculous.
People that are loving the DJ Lagway
no.
train, whatever.
Did they do A&M?
Nope.
Okay.
Vanderbilt got 2 first place votes.
That's insane. Did Diego Pavia vote twice? That's crazy. That's absolutely insane.
Right?
That's
2 people.
They went 6-6 last year.
I know.
They won a game in a construction zone. What are you talking about?
Vanderbilt got 2 first place votes. Tennessee and Ole Miss only got 1 each. Both of those teams are better than Vanderbilt.
Yes, yeah.
Both
in a vacuum against, you just say, hey, you get to play 12 college football teams just by random selection, not by any conference or anything, you just play 12 games, I'd take Tennessee 10 times out of 10 over Vanderbilt.
Anybody that wants to bet, I will bet that both Tennessee and Ole Miss finish with more wins. I don't care about SEC standings.
Yeah.
I will bet you that Tennessee and Ole Miss both finish with more wins than Vanderbilt. If anybody wants to take that bet, I'm game. Because that's bonkers. I don't even know what they're doing out here.
Okay, just for comedy's sake, Vanderbilt's schedule. At home against Charleston Southern.
Okay.
On the road at Virginia Tech. I mean, that's
not a given.
Already. I mean,
Also,
their third game of the year is at South Carolina. There's not a non-zero chance they're 1-2.
I understand that they had a nice year, and I understand that we like their offseason, we like their coach, we like their quarterback. First of all, I think Diego Pavia is a huge wild card because I think he is a very high-risk, high-reward player. And you're just dealing with a lower level of depth on your lower level of depth through your depth or lower level of talent, through your depth chart.
Yeah.
Than you are with some of these other top teams. Even like other 6-6 teams have more talent than Vanderbilt.
Yes.
That's a struggle they always have because it's really hard to get into that school. It's really hard to recruit there. So talent depth is always an issue there. I don't understand how we're just sitting here thinking like, oh, yeah, they're just going to be whatever. But, yeah, so keep going on their schedule.
Well, we seem to also forget that last year Vanderbilt lost to Georgia State.
Not good.
Their third week of the regular season, but
famously.
Let's see. I'm just going back through last year. They lost an overtime game at number 19 Missouri, 30-27. Then they followed up with a win. So they lost back-to-back games and then beat Alabama at home.
Mm-hmm.
They then beat Kentucky.
Who was bad last year.
They beat Ball State, which is notable SEC power. They lost by 3 to Texas at home.
Okay, that's probably the best game of the season.
They beat Auburn. They beat Auburn.
Bad last year.
Yeah, lost by 21 to South Carolina at home.
Okay.
Lost by 7 on the road to LSU, and then lost by 13 at home to Tennessee, and then won the Birmingham Bowl. Congrats. So after South Carolina, week 3, Georgia State at home, which they have had trouble with.
I'm going to call it a win, but they literally lost to them last year.
Utah State in week 5.
So call it 3-2.
Then they are at Alabama October 4th.
Loss.
They are at home against LSU after a bye week October 18th.
Loss.
They are at home against Missouri October 25th.
Probably a loss.
You could, if you just want benefit of the doubt, you could say a push, I guess, but it's probably a loss.
Okay.
Vanderbilt at Texas November 1st.
Loss.
Auburn at Vanderbilt November 8th.
I'll give them a win. I think Hugh Freeze sucks.
Kentucky at Vanderbilt November 22nd after a bye week.
That's a win.
And then Vanderbilt at Tennessee November 29th.
Probably a loss.
Right.
I think I have them at 5-7 then.
So they end the year on a hot streak of winning 2 SEC games and losing to Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking 5-7, 6-6, 7-5. Like that's.
I don't
Tennessee and Ole Miss are both winning 8 games.
Yeah, I don't think and we talked about this yesterday with DB. I don't think the variability of Vanderbilt is to first place to 5-7 overall.
No,
it's not that big.
It's from like 7-5 to maybe like 3-9.
Yeah,
like the
I
bottom.
Say it's that. I think it's like 4-8, 5-7. I think it's pretty close.
I think the bottom is way more likely to fall out than they win 10 games. That's my point.
Not to bring this back to Big Ten talk, but I'm still shocked.
Always Big Ten talk.
That UCLA got 17th place in some of those. I don't know. I
don't see a world in which they finished 17th.
And they were competitive last year. They obviously came into Lincoln and beat Nebraska on a bad week for Nebraska at that time. But
UCLA forces you into some of those. Like UCLA makes you play a little bit ugly. Now, and then they've obviously got an upgraded quarterback. So I don't really know. I don't understand and I'm hesitant about the fit. Don't get me wrong. Like if Nico is part of the drama, like if he's part of the problem and it's not just his dad, that's going to be a really weird fit in that locker room.
Yeah. I can see their last 4 games of the year I could see as straight losses and all in conference play. And then they also have Penn State, so you could say 5 right there. So do you want the full schedule or just Big Ten?
Let's do full schedule.
Okay, so Utah at UCLA. First game. That's tough.
Utah's I mean, people like Utah. They really like to fit with Dampier in the offense. I'm not quite as high on it, even though I did draft him. I think he's going to give me a lot of rushing yards. So,
which, by the way, we need to get to that.
Yeah, we do. We have to legislate a TK situation here. I'm gonna call that a loss. I think Utah beats.
It's a night game. Does that help you at all?
Is at Utah?
At UCLA, which is basically,
I'm going to give that to Utah.
Okay.
I'm a Kyle.
I would agree with you.
I'm a Kyle Whittingham
Yep.
honk. So
UCLA at UNLV, which is insane, but fair.
I'll call it a win.
New Mexico at UCLA.
Win.
UCLA at Northwestern.
Win.
After a bye. Then Penn State travels to UCLA October 4th.
Loss.
Penn State didn't play all that well at USC last year either. They were in a fight.
Yeah, I'm going to call that a loss still.
UCLA at Michigan State October 11th.
Win.
Maryland at UCLA October 18th.
Win.
UCLA at Indiana October 25th.
Loss.
Nebraska UCLA.
Loss.
UCLA at Ohio State.
Loss.
Washington at UCLA.
Push.
UCLA at USC.
Loss.
Yeah.
So
those
6, 7, and 5.
Those last 4 games.
Yeah.
You could almost. I would almost just say those are 4 losses, but I am higher on Washington.
Yeah, I think it's 6 and 6, 7 and 5.
Yeah.
So.
But that's not 17th in the conference.
No, it's not. Because Purdue and Northwestern are the worst teams in this conference by a ways.
Yes.
Now, anything after that, I'm open to.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think there's a very small gap and a ton of variance from like basically 4 to 16.
Mm-hmm.
Like
we had an issue. I feel very vulnerable knowing that Minnesota's in there lingering.
Yeah.
And people are putting them at 10, 11.
Yeah.
And it just feels like we're setting everyone up for Minnesota to just come in and sneak in and surprise everybody.
So I wouldn't be stunned by a team finishing 4th until I got to, okay, there's 4 teams I'd be stunned if they finished 4th. Purdue, Northwestern, Wisconsin, Maryland.
You're saying if they ended 4th in the conference, you'd be shocked. Okay, gotcha.
I'd be stunned.
Yes. Yeah.
After that, honestly.
You say those again, so Purdue, Northwestern.
Wisconsin, and Maryland.
Okay, yes.
I don't think there's a world in which any of those 4 teams finish as high as 4th.
Yeah.
After that, UCLA, Nebraska, Michigan State, Washington, USC, Rutgers, Minnesota, Michigan, Iowa, Illinois. If any of those teams finished 4, 5, 6, I'm not stunned at all.
Yeah.
Like, I think there is a huge amount of variance and very little gap between those, 11 teams?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't see a huge gap there. So to put UCLA past that group of 4 that I think cannot, like, UCLA could finish 4th in the conference. I'm not betting on it.
Right.
Same thing with Washington. I think Washington's much closer to 6 or 7 wins than they are to 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah, but if UCLA gets a sleepy Penn State team and they just happen to shock them,
sure,
anything's possible, right?
Or if they get off to a good start and they beat Utah.
Yeah.
Like, there's all of a sudden we're talking about maybe 8 wins there. And, like, 8 wins probably doesn't get you to 4th place in the Big Ten, but you're not far off.
Yeah.
You're probably 5th or 6th at that point. So I don't know. I don't think UCLA disrespect is aggressive, and I'm not even a big fan of that situation. Like,
I just think they're more competitive than people want to give them credit for.
That's the thing is I think they'll be, unless the Nico thing is like truly a cancer in the locker room, that's going to be a highly competitive football team.
Right. And I can say I think that they will be competitive. Maybe that won't translate to wins, but I don't think that they're going to be a 17th place. Your team just knows, hey, this is just going to be, we're going to rest guys in the 4th quarter. We'll be good.
I'll throw one more in there. I can't see Rutgers finishing 4th. I can't see Rutgers finishing 4th.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've got 10 teams, I think. Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, USC, Washington, Michigan State, Nebraska. 9 teams. I think there's 9 teams that could finish 4th in this league. That's crazy. And UCLA, I think, is one of, like, I think we're forgetting, again, this is the thing that's been bothering me so much about these different quarterbacks. Why is Dante Moore definitely going to be good for Oregon, but Nico isn't definitely going to be good? Like, Nico's numbers at Tennessee last year in a power conference were better than Dante Moore's 2 years ago playing in the Pac-12 with UCLA.
Yeah.
Like, they were better. Nico was better than Dante Moore because Dante Moore sat out a year, and I get he's at Oregon.
Yep.
I get that. But
because of what's around him. That's really the only answer.
I get that. But, like, we think Dante Moore is going to be better than Nico? We're just assuming that? I can see it because of what's around him, but that's not a given by any stretch of the imagination. Nico was already better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what we're doing here with the Dante Moores of the world.
Well, it just it has to be the same argument that we made with Dylan just a little bit ago, just about the receivers he had from one year to where he's going next. That the roster,
but we're not
and the team
making that assumption with Dylan.
Right. Yeah,
that's the problem. Is like we're so unevenly applying the logic.
Right.
It either is one thing or it's not. Like, does the better situation for Dante Moore outweigh the better offensive coordinator for Dylan and the better receivers?
It's a good argument.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And it's not like UCLA was bad 2 years ago. they had a pretty good amount of talent under Chip Kelly at the end of his tenure.
Yeah.
They didn't win as much as they should have, but there was a pretty good amount of talent there. So we're just going to sit here and say, okay, I don't know how big the upgrade is. And obviously Oregon's guys are better than UCLA's. I'm not making that argument. But is anybody on Oregon staff as good of an offensive mind as Chip Kelly?
Probably not, no.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And then, so does that offset the better talent around him? Does that, like, what are we doing with Dante Moore that we're making that assumption, but Nico doesn't get that assumption, and Dylan doesn't get that assumption? Like, we're in the same conference even here. I'm not even going SEC to Big Ten.
Yeah.
Like, we just have to apply the same logic to across the board. Otherwise, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
So is the better situation benefit the lower tier quarterback, essentially, is what you're asking, right? Like, it's the way that you perceive it, right?
The better your situation is, the less good you have to be at quarterback. That's why Quinn Ewers led a team to the college football playoff last year.
Good point. And a lot of people outside of Austin were clamoring for Quinn Ewers to just stay the starter. They thought that Quinn Ewers was a first-round type quarterback.
He's not, obviously.
7th round.
Like, that's not who he is.
Yeah.
He
will not be competing for a day one NFL starting job.
I think that's safe, yeah.
Yes.
So we're sitting here and go, okay, like, the better situation favors the quarterback that is more limited, right? And so
why do you think Dante Moore's so limited? What makes
I don't know. I don't know that he's limited.
Okay.
It's just his production has not been, like, physically, I don't think he's limited.
Okay.
Right? I think he's got a lot
5-star quarterback.
Yeah, he's got a lot of the physical tools that you would want. Like, that's why him and Nico and Dylan are good examples. They were all 5-star quarterback that physically can do whatever you need him to do. Right? The question, though, is, okay, his production did not light the world on fire at UCLA. Nico was actually pretty good in his 1 year of production at Tennessee in the SEC, and Dylan was a lot closer to Dante Moore's numbers, although I think some of the peripheral numbers are a little bit more in favor. Certainly the completion percentage, I believe the interception rate is lower. Like, I think there's more indications that Dylan can be a better passer than Dante Moore.
Yeah.
Dante Moore probably a little bit more dynamic in terms of what he can bring to the table athletically.
So Dante Moore, 9 games in the Pac-12, true freshman. 114 of 213, 54% completion rate, 1,610 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, a 4.2% interception rate.
Yeah. That's not good.
He also threw 8 pass attempts last year.
That's not good. And he only ran for, let me check, negative 84 yards. So if you're counting on his legs, like, yes, I get that's probably a factor with him more than it is with Dylan.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the track record does not indicate that this guy's going to light the world on fire.
And that was a Chip Kelly offense, correct?
Yes, that's a Chip Kelly offense in UCLA. That was his last year, because last year was Chip Kelly's only year at Ohio State.
Yes.
Last year, or 2023, was Chip Kelly's last year at UCLA. I get that there was a little bit of drop-off from 2022 to 2023 with that team. There's still a pretty good amount of talent. It's still a Chip Kelly offense.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm sitting here and I go, okay, he's 14 percentage points lower than Dylan on completion. He's 1.6% higher on his interception rate. His touchdown rate's a little higher. Fair. But I don't understand why I'm sitting here and he's been out for a year, and I'm going to say that their offensive minds around the team are not better than Dana Holgorsen or Chip Kelly for that matter. And I'm just assuming he's going to be better.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming he's not just better. People think he's going to be actively very good. Like, and maybe he will be, but you can't make that assumption based on what we know. Right? Like, there is nothing, like, it's not even like Arch in Texas where you got Sarkisian and you're like, well, if he could make a sandwich out of that turd Quinn Ewers, like, we like our chances with Arch Manning.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, couldn't beat out Quinn Ewers for a job. Not that we forget about that at all, but, like, I can understand it a little bit in Texas. I can understand it with Ohio State where you're just like, hey, seems like every quarterback they plug in there is just really good, so it's fine. I understand it with those guys. That's not really like Dylan Gabriel was a finished product when he got to Oregon. That's why they brought him in.
Right.
Like,
he's more than a finished quarterback. I mean, the guy's like,
he's
my age playing quarterback.
Almost, honestly. Like, Bo Nix had 3 years of SEC starting experience by the time he got to Oregon. And that's our entire experience with Dan Lanning and quarterbacks at Oregon.
Yep.
And Bo Nix had his biggest jump with Mario Cristobal as his head coach. So I don't really know what to do with a developmental project under a Dan Lanning-led team because we've never seen it before.
Yeah.
We've seen Dana Holgorsen have good quarterbacks and good quarterback play literally everywhere he's been.
Yeah. No, he is a proven track record.
Yes.
You could argue his worst quarterbacks were what? Will Grier?
Yeah. Who, guess what?
Drafted in the NFL.
Played in the NFL for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know what we're doing here.
I mean,
was Kevin Cobb? No, Case Keenum. Case Keenum
was his, who's the all-time leading passer in college football history.
And played in the NFL for a long time.
Still in the NFL. Geno Smith.
Played in the NFL for a long time.
Still in the NFL. Let's see. Brandon Whedon, first round NFL draft pick.
Yeah.
1 year, but still, it counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
I don't know what we're doing here. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And so
from a national perception, Dana Holgorsen's not getting enough credit.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Somehow we spun this back to Nebraska, which is just
always
incredible.
Always spin it back to Nebraska. It's the only thing that matters.
This went from Vanderbilt to UCLA to Dana Holgorsen.
It's the only thing that matters.
It is. You're right.
No, I get it with Austin Simmons a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, Lane Kiffin, he's gonna figure it out with his quarterback. Okay, cool. I can live with that. I don't have a problem there.
Yeah.
Josh Heupel, Tennessee, gonna figure it out with his quarterback. Okay, probably fair. He made Joe Milton look functional, which is hard to do. He turned Hendon Hooker from backup at Virginia Tech into a Heisman Trophy contender until he hurt his knee. If you're going to say, hey, benefit of the doubt, Tennessee and Ole Miss, cool.
Yep.
No problem here.
Heupel's good.
Even if you want to do it with Kalen DeBoer and Ty Simpson at Alabama, quarterback guru, quarterback whisperer, fine. His track record's smaller at this level than it is with some of those other guys.
He turned a injury-prone quarterback into
a very talented
a top 10 NFL draft pick.
A very talented injury-prone quarterback. He was very good at Indiana.
Right.
So, let's make sure we give credit where credit's due.
Right.
He was very good at Indiana.
But was Michael Penix going to be drafted in the first round?
No, probably not.
No.
He turned Michael Penix into a different type of quarterback after the injuries, too.
So, to be clear, and not to discredit the player, DeBoer gave him a
pass in the
scheme,
NFL.
Right. He gave him the scheme and the type of development needed to turn him into a top 10 quarterback. That's a more appropriate way to say it,
especially after his injuries when he kind of had to change his game.
So Dana Holgorsen's coaching ability and scheme could turn Dylan Raiola into a blank quarterback.
Yeah. The blank is first round.
Yes.
He's got the talent. These guys that are five-star quarterbacks coming out, I think we assume because some of them make it, they're like, oh, maybe they weren't as good as we thought they were. Physically, I promise you, all of the five-star guys are that level.
Yes.
That's where they start. That's where the camps happen. That's where the Elite 11s happen. All of the five-star guys, in some way, shape, or form, are NFL caliber talents. Now, some of them are better athletes than they are passers or whatever, but anything that goes wrong for them not to pan out is something else. It's the way they process. It's their decision-making. It's injuries. It's something else, right? If I don't think those are issues with Dylan, which I don't, then having Dana Holgorsen as your offensive coordinator should be a game changer.
Yeah.
And it is a game changer. Just no one outside of this room apparently understands that.
Shane, do you believe that?
I was having this thing. Yeah, we got a little bit of time. Go ahead, Shane.
We got a little bit of time. I would say, no, I don't believe that.
Oh, so apparently everyone on this stage believes that.
He also, believed that never mind.
Certified hater, Shane.
Anyway.
Hey, that's the secret.
So I'm sitting here and the video of me predicting Nebraska schedule went out yesterday on social media.
Monday viral days.
A little bit, yeah. But my
do
notifications were
you mute them?
Aggressive yesterday.
You got a couple of people on both sides of the aisle.
Oh yeah, no, there are some people that mostly it was people just praying that I'm right.
Yeah, I saw a lot of those. I did see a couple. There were some Husker folks that were giving you some grief though.
Oh yeah,
a couple.
It's because they have no joy in their life.
I do like the people that'll say, "Quit telling the team this. They got to earn everything." I don't know if they are really watching this. I'll be honest.
And also, just because I think they're going to go 10-2 doesn't mean they still have to go earn it.
There's a funny scenario.
You realize I have no power to hand them victories, right? I wish. I don't possess that.
But you have to admit, there's a funny scenario in which, Ja'Cory Barney and Dylan Raiola see this clip, they send to each other, dap up and go, 10 wins, baby.
They're like, lock it up.
Ravi said it, man.
Pack it in, baby. We're done for the year. I'm going to start practicing for the playoff. Let's go. No, I do think it's funny, though, because, it came out yesterday. And literally, my reasoning on this is very simple.
Yeah.
Nebraska, I predicted Nebraska to win 9 games last year. If they have just not disastrous special teams, it's at 8, no questions asked.
So you granted 2 wins.
Yes, I'm giving them 2 wins automatically for hiring Mike Eckler, which I think is fair.
Yes.
Like,
and I completely agree with you.
They absolutely, unequivocally win Illinois and Iowa last year with just not disastrous special teams play. Okay? So I'm giving them 2 wins just for Mike Eckler being on staff. That was a 2-win hire right off the bat. The second thing is Dana Holgorsen is a huge upgrade at offensive coordinator. He'd be a huge upgrade for almost anybody. So you give me Dana Holgorsen for a full year and a full offseason, plus second-year Dylan Raiola, which I know you've got some numbers on what a second-year quarterback with Dana Holgorsen looks like.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
Like, those 2 things by themselves get me to 9 without, like, and I think only 1 win for Dana and Dylan is incredibly conservative and maybe insultingly conservative. Like, I don't even have to squint to get to 10.
Yeah.
I don't think that's crazy at all. Like, I really don't. And I'm sitting here and I'm trying to figure out, I get that there's so much trauma in this fan base that we just can't allow ourselves to think something good's going to happen because we're so afraid of Lucy pulling the football back away from us.
That's fair.
And landing on our ass like Charlie Brown does every Thanksgiving.
All right. Do you want me to help you? I have a preview of what, and this is why I was doing this, because I was looking through quarterback stats from Dana Holgorsen.
We'll dive into this tomorrow, but give me like a high end of what it looks like.
Okay, so I want to give you this. So from what I can tell, translating, and I'll say the quarterback tomorrow. This quarterback from Dana Holgorsen, his first year, his freshman season, under Holgorsen to where he finished then his second season, this quarterback was 14-10 touchdown interceptions, completed 68.5% of his passes, and threw 2,259 passing yards that season, about 8.3 yards per attempt. Dylan,
so
of
pretty
course,
similar to Dylan's.
Dylan, 67% completion, 13-11 touchdown interception.
Yeah,
so
very
similar.
Very similar.
If ex-quarterback, his second year, translates the way that Dylan's could translate, the percentages would be Dylan would complete 68% of his passes. He would throw for 35 touchdowns and 10 interceptions and would pass for around 4,000 passing yards.
If Dylan
How is that not 10-2?
If Dylan puts up those numbers, that's a 10-win team, no questions asked.
Yes.
Like full stop.
Yes.
Full stop.
And also breaks all the records. I mean,
100% of them.
I mean, we're talking about unprecedented Nebraska quarterback play that we have never seen in this style of quarterback from a Husker.
So tell me, is that the best jump from year 1 to year 2 for a Dana quarterback?
Not necessarily, because the rest are. It is so statistically speaking, it's the best percentage jump. The rest of them are pretty consistent.
Okay.
So the rest of them were already pretty good or had like a really good first year.
Sure.
And then translated it to a pretty consistent second year. This was the biggest jump from a true freshman quarterback that was the starter for the entirety of the season, jumped into the next season.
So the closest comparison to what we have
Yes.
for Dylan, because I imagine some of these guys weren't true freshmen when they started. I imagine,
Right.
yeah. So the closest direct comparison we have for a Dana Holgorsen quarterback to the situation that Dylan Raiola was in went from 14-10, 2,200 yards, and 68% completion to 68% completion, 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 10 picks.
Not quite. He did a little bit better than that, but percentage-wise, yes.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get the
ratios.
direct. Yes, the ratio.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, big ratio guys.
If that happens, Nebraska's absolutely winning 10 games.
Yeah. And also you like this too, that quarterback in his second year, 1.9% interception rate.
Which again, not far off from where Dylan already is.
Right.
Right. So that's where I get people get hesitant and they're like, oh, what is this guy smoking? And give me some more. Literally, I got a bunch of those. This guy's on crack. Give me some whatever that guy's taking, whatever. I get it. I understand the hesitancy. But if I'm looking at it not through the trauma lens of the last 10 years of Nebraska football, and I haven't even brought up Matt Rule year 3.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't even brought that up yet, which is a real thing, by the way. Like, do you think it's a coincidence that he took over 2 of the worst situations in college football, in Temple and Baylor? I don't think there's been a worse situation in college football to take over since SMU and the death penalty than that Baylor program.
That Baylor program was meant to be dead. It was left out on the side of the road.
They had no recruits.
Yep.
and barely a roster when he took over. They could not have taken the field that the day he took over.
Yep.
And this is pre-transfer portal, like normal transfer portal stuff, right? And in the third year, that team won double-digit games.
Yep.
Third year, that team.
And played in a Big 12 title game, I remember.
Yes.
Right?
Was, I believe, an overtime away against Oklahoma from possibly playing for a national title.
Yep.
Same thing happened at Temple. One of the worst programs in college football. Third year takes them to, I believe, 10 wins. It was 9 or 10. Might have been 9 regular season, 10 with the, I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's obviously something in the way Matt Rule builds his programs that builds to a year 3. The way the culture set, the foundation of it. Like, I don't know how I can look at both of those examples and not think that same thing is at least plausible. Not guaranteed, but plausible at Nebraska.
Yeah.
Maybe even probable, right? And then I add in Mike Eckler. And then I add in Dana Holgorsen in year 2, Dylan. Like, I don't even have to squint to get to 10 wins. I don't even have to think twice about it.
Mm-hmm.
I get the trauma. Scott Frost has nothing to do with what's happening on this roster. Because that's what we're talking about.
Another bingo card.
I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? We're
Yeah.
talking about the 3-9 in 2021 and the disappointment in 2019 after Nebraska's preseason top 25, and Adrian Martinez is in the, I believe, the 3rd place for Heisman favorites going into the season. Like, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about Matt Rule stuff.
Yeah.
We're talking about Scott Frost stuff.
Right.
We're talking about Mike Riley stuff coming off of a 7-0 start in 2016 and then having the bottom fall out in 2018.
Yeah.
Or 2017,
Yeah.
right? Like,
we've just had a really bad ex, and we don't understand how good our current relationship is.
Yeah,
we just can't see. We're trying to look at Matt Rule and just be like, oh no, you're being really shady. He's like, I am not.
It's like
I'm just being myself.
When you adopt a dog from the shelter
Yeah.
and that dog had been abused, when you move too quick, the dog kind of shudders a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't have anything to do with you. You've never hit your dog, right?
Yep.
But they still have some of the scar tissue from before. That's not on you as their new owner, right? You're going to give that dog a good life.
Yeah.
Like Matt Rule, I think, is about to give us a real good life here.
Yep.
I really do. It has nothing to do with the fact that we came from the shelter getting beat up a little bit. Like that's
what an analogy.
That's the
great.
truth of it, right?
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
We've got a dog, Shadow, love him to death. He was abused before we got him, right? Like for a few years, you move a little too quick. He's a little skittish, right? Guess what? Since we've had him, nothing's bad has ever happened to Shadow.
Yep.
That dog is living his life, right?
Except when you get in the shadow realm for a nap.
He loves that. Dude, just put you out, man. It's wild. It's like, I'm not tired at all. He sits down next to you on the couch. You've been asleep for 2 hours instantly, right? There's nothing bad about that dog's life.
Yeah.
But, every once in a while, you move in the wrong way. You move a little bit too quick. And he's like, whoa, what's happening here? That's the Nebraska fan base right now. Guess what?
And
I'm not going to live that life.
And on that same boat, I'll add this too. The roster doesn't have those same scars anymore either.
No, it doesn't. That's a really good point.
That's a really good point. I'm a huge proponent. And that was, I think, part of the issue and mentality last year that had nothing to do with the talented players and the players that they had in the program last year. But there is some lingering scar tissue that, oh, here we go again.
I'm convinced.
This is how it happens.
I'm convinced, and we can take a break after this. I'm convinced that that's part of the reason Matt Rule wrote it out with the older guys.
Yep.
So that they could get and he sort of said this, not directly, but he wanted the older guys to get the monkey of the bowl game off the back of the program. He wanted the older guys to suffer through this season and get through it so that the younger guys had the opportunity to not have to deal with that. So they could move forward to greater things. I am convinced that's what happened last year because I am convinced there were younger guys that would have done better last year at certain spots.
You and I completely agree on that.
Like, I think there's some place in the defensive backfield. We saw it with Donovan Jones in the bowl game. Donovan Jones was good.
Yes.
He hardly played before that. Like, especially in the defensive secondary, I think with, like, some of the Wills McGahee and Shavers and some of those guys. Riley Van Poppel's a really good example of this. You don't think Riley Van Poppel could have helped that team last year?
I know you're a big proponent on that. You said it almost every week.
RVP's really good.
Yep. And he will be very good.
I'm sitting here and I go, like, you don't think Keon Davis could have helped last year? Keon Davis is really good.
Yep.
I'm sitting here and I go, okay, he's trying to get through this with the guys that got them, that were part of getting Nebraska in this situation, to be fair, right? They were part of the previous regime, a lot of them, that led to these problems. So you find your way out of it, right? These new guys, these young guys, they get to go do something else.
Yep.
But you put them in a position where they're allowed to.
For the first time in a long time, a team is coming in without the scar tissue of past problems.
Yes.
And they're coming in with their own realm of success. And it's been a long time since we've been able to say that about a Nebraska football roster coming into a hopeful season.
Without the baggage and the burden that we've seen over the last decade or so. We'll take a quick break here. That's Austin. I'm Ravi. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
Avery Howard here with Emmett Johnson at Dillon's first ever youth camp. You guys are all out here. O-linemen's out here. You guys, the wide receivers. Why was it important for the offense to come support him today?
Man, it was really important, man. If we had a camp, Dillon would be there for us. So it just shows the brotherhood that we have in the room. It just shows how close we are as a team. So it means a lot for us to come out here and support him. Dillon's doing a great job of giving back to the community. So it's been really fun.
And for you guys to interact with these kids and watch their faces light up when they get to interact with you, what does that mean for you guys?
Means a lot, man. We was all kids just like them coming out here. They're having a lot of fun, and they're really excited to be at Dillon's camp, so it's just great to be able to give back to them.
You know how much Nebraska football means to all these little kids. When they leave, what do you hope they know and think about Nebraska football?
They know that we got some great players, not just football players on the field, but great humans. And I hope they take that into their lives after this camp and just have fun with everything they do.
Speaking of camp, you guys, like you just said, about a week away. What are the feelings going into camp this year?
Man, I'm really excited, man. We got a really great team this year, a really great brotherhood. So it's going to be a really, really fun year, and we're just got to go into camp healthy, just take care of business, and then let everything handle itself.
Here with Corey Barney at Dylan Raiola's first youth camp. You guys are having a great time out here. What's it like to see all these kids out here for him and you guys being out here supporting him?
It's exciting for me to see him, bring the whole community out. It's always good to give back. And I'm just blessed to be in this position. Happy for my guy. And yeah, I'm happy to be out here.
A lot of the offense is out here today. How would you describe the connection this group has going into this season?
Just, building our brotherhood, unity. We try to do everything as one. Try to move as one. We knew he was having a camp. We all wanted to come out here, show our love to the kids and to my boys. So, yeah, we enjoy being out here. We enjoy the kids, and we're just happy to be here at the end of the day. Yeah. We was once these young kids, so it's always a blessing to give back.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you that the Pinnacle Bank Championship is right around the corner. Don't forget, it's presented by Woodhouse, and it is back. You won't want to miss a second, whether you're in it for the Corn Ferry Tour golf, if you're a big golf guy, concessions, it's more my area of expertise.
I too am more of a concessions man.
Concerts, there's a good cause attached as well in terms of helping out the community or anything in between. Maybe you want to come out to hole 17 and hang out with the Hurrdat crew, which you definitely should. A good time is always par for the course. Get your tickets at thepinnaclebankchampionship.com today to experience it for yourself. You had a cool experience over the weekend. You were doing the Husker Road Race, right? You were out there?
Yeah.
Did you actually run?
I did run, yeah. Dr. Girlfriend.
Big runner guy?
Big runner guy.
Did you do the mile or the 5K?
I did the 5K.
Oh, okay.
I'm no Kyle Crooks. I did the full 5K.
Well, I mean, you're coming off like a marathon and an Ironman. A 5K is nothing, right?
I know. That's what I thought. But then the humidity attacked. I mean, it was brutal out there.
Aggressive.
So, full disclosure, had to get my DB in there. Just trying to hit the bingo
card.
Yeah, bingo card. So we got there about like 7:55, 8 o'clock. So the mile had like just started. We're getting our packets and stuff. It's not like a regular race.
Mm-hmm.
So
not like a regular mom. It's cool, mom.
Right. No, but I meant it's not like those usual half marathons, whatever you sign up for, where everyone's like serious competitive runners and stuff. There's just a lot of families. People just want to do it just to do it. Support, that sort of thing.
Come around, be around Nebraska football players.
Right. And so we're standing out on the field at Memorial Stadium. Turf is incredible. It's very cool. Be able to kind of look at that, look at the new outlines and stuff. You get it. The sun starts to creep in. It was cooking on that field. I mean, brutal. And so, I saunter over to the opposing sideline, which, they've now painted completely black. That's Dante's Inferno right there.
Ugh.
When the sun hits that thing.
Yeah.
We're out. I do not want to be a road team sitting in that thing in 85-degree heat. Like, no way.
Love it. Those September games are going to be great.
Yeah. That Houston Christian's about to boil.
Although they are from Houston, they should be used to it.
They should be.
Houston's brutal.
Yeah, that's going to be something. But yeah, it was a really cool experience there at the Husker Road Race.
So what was it like with the I guess I've never been to it.
Mm-hmm.
What is kind of the player's role? I see him like running across the finish line with some guys and stuff like that, or some families and kids.
Yeah.
Like, what are the Huskers players doing kind of throughout that?
Yeah, so some of them were set up strategically on the course to just give out high fives and support. Dylan did a great job. He was bumping a lot of good music. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He was handing out a lot of high fives, dude. Dude's hands are gigantic, by the way. I mean, like, I felt like I could. Huge.
It's like grabbing your forearm when he shakes your hand.
Yeah, the Nebraska men's basketball team, which I made sure I said hi from Ravi, Lulla. I said he's really high on you guys, crown basketball champions. And they all said that wasn't really us, but thanks.
Literally, none of us are back from that.
But they were handing out water like at the halfway point. But yeah, some of them were just like working the course like you'd expect regular race volunteers. Some of them were helping with different kids that were running through, whether there was the mile or the 5K themselves. They were out there like on the course running with them. Some of them were helping out, just kind of just like interacting with the kids on the field and just like playing pickup games and doing stuff. I know we got some clips of Ja'Cory Barney breaking kids' ankles and stuff. That was cool. So yeah, it was just, they did a great job of just interacting with the fans and the people that were at the road race. And the road race, the videos and everything that even we have come out with, it is as cool as it looks. Yeah. I promise. Like every time when I went out there, this is my first time running it, first time actually like seeing it and experiencing it. It's not like a normal 5K where everyone's, got their gel packets like, taped to their chest and there's Band-Aids everywhere and people are just like, retaping their ankles and stuff.
Do people do that for a 5K?
You haven't been to a small town 5K.
I have not. No.
That is their biggest day. The turkey trot.
Oh, sure.
Crushes.
Yeah.
Because
I figured with like half marathon, some of the longer ones, like obviously you got to be fueled up. You know, you got to get the tape so there's no chafing, like all sorts of stuff, right?
I've never had that issue.
Really?
Knock on wood,
Good for you.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
I've always said that, and then I've always been like, this will be the one that gets me. If the Husker Road Race one would have got me, that would have been hilarious.
And it's called a turkey trot?
I mean, no, like a turkey trot for Thanksgiving. Yeah, when they do the 5K. Yeah, those are the best ones. But yeah, so anyway, what the best part was is that they allowed the Husker football team to be able to speak and be a part of the experience, speaking to these families, speaking to like who's out there.
Yeah.
And I was just so impressed because it sounded so so genuine and did not come across as rehearsed. It didn't come across as, hey, we're just giving it to like this one guy because he's super passionate about this. Like they didn't just have like one person speaking. The whole team felt like they believed in the mission of Team Jack, the pediatric brain research that they were raising money for. And I was telling you during the break, but specifically, Ja'Cory Barney, just I am so impressed as to like what I heard from him that I completely think of him like a whole new light now. Like
a whole different person.
Just not even like the football player that he is, because he's a fantastic football player, but just the person and character that he is and the way that he spoke just from the heart and what it meant for him to be out there. And then to see his words turn into actions and to interact with these fans and to play with the kids and to be able to be out on the field and know what it meant for those kids too, to be who he is and to give back his small, ample amount of time on a Sunday morning to interact with football fans in that way. It was an incredible, like it was one of those that I was speaking, to my girlfriend she's a pediatric doctor in town here. And she was super pumped up. She's like, oh, I can wear this shirt to work. I can, I can wear the wristband. I can say like, oh, what did you guys do this morning? I actually helped, support the kids we support every day.
Yeah.
But she has always been a little bit more on the side of, well, life is bigger than Nebraska football. Sure. And she means it. And she knows it because the kids that she's had to work with and the things that she has to see day in and day out.
She's got a real job.
She does. And it's much bigger than sports.
Yeah.
It's much bigger than that. But she was even saying how cool it was to hear what the Huskers had to say and how they interacted and how they were just a part of the operation.
Yeah.
Because she could tell it actually meant something to them.
Yeah.
That they are actually, they understand what this looks like.
Yeah, I will say I get it. Especially if you're in a job like a doctor, right? Being in a spot where you look at it and you go, hey, like, I'm dealing with stuff that is way different than who wins and loses a football game.
Right.
The one thing I will say is the importance of Nebraska football isn't really just about the games, right? The Team Jack thing's a great example, right? That family has been through so much, whether it's with Jack or with Andy and both of them passing recently. And Nebraska football made their lives infinitely better while they were going through this struggle, while they were going through the original diagnosis with Jack and obviously the cancer came back and then Andy was dealing with his as well. And you sit there and you go, okay, they're dealing with obvious, heavy, real life stuff. And there's not that much that can make your life better in that moment, right? Family, sure. Friends, absolutely, like a support system. But you know what made that family's life infinitely better was Nebraska football.
Yep.
And so I get it when she says like, it's not the end of the world, whatever. Sure, I get it. Like Nebraska doesn't go 10-2 this year and I'm wrong. Like people will make jokes and I'll eat it and it'll be fine.
Right.
Like it's not the end of the world. But when you get outside of the individual results and what the games actually are, it really is that important. I know that I've told this story before, so I won't go into the whole thing, but like when I was 7 and I got diagnosed with diabetes and it felt like the entire world was ending because I didn't know what was happening and kids didn't want to be around me because they knew I was sick and I felt like an outsider and I didn't know what was going on. Brooke Behringer sat me down at a camp and talked to me for a few minutes, and I felt like from that day forward, I felt like everything was going to be okay.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what he said. I really don't. But I was like, if Brooke Behringer's okay sitting next to me, if he thinks I'm cool, I'm good.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, Nebraska football made my life infinitely better. Before I even started working in sports in Nebraska, right? Just as a scared kid, Nebraska football made my life better. As a scared kid and scared family, Nebraska football made Team Jack and Jack Hoffman and his whole family's lives better, right? And those are just two of countless examples, right, of what Nebraska football means to this community. That's why, that's part of the reason when I can sit here and I can go, okay, I can sit here and I can be pessimistic. And listen, I have been, right? When I think there's reason to be pessimistic, I don't hold back on that, right? I sit here and I go, okay, do I see a path to this being a really good football team? Yeah, I really do. And part of me, it's a football thing, and part of me is just, I want that for this state and for this fan base so badly. And for the first time in a long time, I actually think it's possible.
And believe me when I say, too, that the team is very much worth fighting for and rooting for. because the way that the interactions and everything that I just shared and stuff, and the way that they are bought in, I've never seen a Husker team, and I've been able to interact. I've been in different forms of media across the state. I've been able to be, in press conferences. I've been able to be a little bit behind the scenes, been doing some stuff, with Husker football and such. I've been kind of in the nitty gritty of it, much like you have, much like a lot of people that we talk to on our show are. But the way that this team's character is built, we had a big argument on Friday with, some people about, and especially in comments and chats online about how, why don't they go after certain recruits and why isn't it always 5-star kids and all this stuff? The type of person that you are for Nebraska football under Matt Rule means a lot.
They're looking for something very specific.
And it really showed on Sunday night.
And that doesn't mean you're a bad person. If they don't recruit you, it means you're not the specific type of thing they're looking for.
Yeah.
You might be a great fit somewhere else. You maybe would have been a good fit at Nebraska, and they just didn't realize it. But they're looking for something specific, and it's a lot more than what your 40 time is. And, yeah, they're looking for all that too, right?
Yep.
You can't just, if they thought I was a great person, I'm not getting a scholarship because just because they think I'm nice, right? That's
fair.
not in the cards.
Yeah.
My peak 5'2" 40 probably not cutting it.
It's pretty quick.
And I mean, not now. Back in the day, maybe. If I could break 6 seconds now, I'd take it.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to get to our guest here, Gary Java?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get to Gary here. We've been trying to get a hold of him for a couple minutes here, but we've been talking about the Pinnacle Bank Championship. Gary, I know you've been involved for a long time. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, and what an extra bonus. This is cherry on the top. I'm on Hurrdat Sports Radio with you licensed professionals. Thanks for having us on. Thanks for thinking of us. We're only a couple of weeks out, folks.
I mean, speaking of licensed professionals, this used to be your arena, Gary.
The older you get, the more used to there are in your life.
All right, Gary. So this is my.
I'll say people ask me all the time. Is that fun to you, man? I said that was the most fun I ever got paid to have in those great days, and with great respect for the art of sports talk radio to you guys.
Well, Gary, this is my first rodeo with Pinnacle Bank Championships. My first kind of wrapping up my first year with Hurrdat, but I didn't get to do this last year, so I'm so excited to see what it's all about. If there's a newcomer like me who hasn't seen this type of experience, what's kind of the selling point? What's the biggest difference maker between this and other events?
This is what I tell people. We are Nebraska's only annual professional sports event. And God bless our College World Series. I mean, I've embraced and promoted all our sports over the years. College World Series are our only annual college sports event. In the volleyball Final Fours, Olympic swim trial, those are great events. But they're not. Anyway, we're the only annual. So for 4 days a year, even for people who have been to our event our first 8 years, this is going to be our 9th. August 7th through 10th. But even for people that they haven't been here in 12 months, there's only 4 days of a professional golf tournament, Corn Ferry Tour, and our team. Despite me, but Jessica Brabeck has been here all 9 years. We've worked together. Amelia Hansen, now Katie Caldwell, our intern staff, Brett Ballack, as our coach, Brett Ballack, as director of sales. You just put on a great show. The golfers put on a great show. The club at Indian Creek is just immaculate. And for every year since our first year, the players love the golf course itself, how it plays, and how fair and honest and tough it plays. So what I say to a newcomer, come on out here and just experience a professional golf tournament, just firsthand in all different ways, with the ground ticket, and that can get you into the ground, and concessions throughout the golf course, and for our good sponsors who are in some of those really cool looking pavilions, indoor, outdoor, air conditioning covered, with food and drinks. And no matter how you enjoy it, it's just a great place. It's a great walk in the park, watching these great golfers. I almost said great young golfers, but they're not all the youngest. There's some players who've been coming through here and staying on this tour for a long time and grinding it out.
Gary, you mentioned some of the different tents and sponsors you got around there. That's always what I'm wondering, right? Because I'm going to be honest with you, Gary. I'm not a huge golf fan. I like it. I don't love it. If I'm going to be out there, I want to have a little bit of fun, though, right? My question is always, how do I get into the good tents?
You know what? I can email you a list of names and a list of great sponsors and say, if you know anybody there, if you have anybody there that likes you, at this, ask them if they can get in there. And then we can also sell. Excuse my voice here. Boy, I sound like a professional, don't I? At 73, you hit puberty again, and my voice is cracked. My gosh. But no, we can. There are still tickets available on our website, Pinnacle Bank Championships, and look for pavilion tickets to get into there. And our pavilions, our sponsored pavilions, we have the NMC Rental Pavilion, the Hurrdat Sports Pavilion, the Par 3 Party Hole with your title on it and your name on it, and the Michelob Ultra Pavilion and some others. But they include they open up at 9. Tee times. The first 2 rounds are about 6:45ish, and then on the weekends about 7 o'clock. So the golfers start coming around and getting to those pavilions around 9 o'clock or so. So the bar's open then. If you have a pass into that ticket, the bar's open. Hot lunch between 11:30 and 1:30, part of those tickets. And then snacks throughout the day, and grab some food, grab a drink, go out for a walk in the nicest park you're going to walk on all year long or walk through. That's what you're going to get to do.
Okay, Gary, I need some clarification here. So do airport rules apply? Like I can get a drink as soon as I get there, right? Like we're not like it's always 5 o'clock on the golf course, right? It doesn't matter.
Oh, sure. We have them on our shuttle buses coming out. We don't care what you're here. Have a drink. No. I'm just kidding. We do not do that. Our pavilions open up. Yeah, we don't do that. It might be a good idea when at some other event, but not here. But the pavilions open up at 9. The course opens up about a half hour before tee time. So the drinks start at 9. In our pavilions, and that's when they open up. The course opens up just before first tee time, and the concessions are open at the same time too.
Gary, appreciate the time as always. I can't wait to be out there and see you in just a couple of weeks. You'll have to save a drink for me. All right?
Oh yeah, you can have mine too because we're busy. Let me mention this. Let me mention this that Scotty Scheffler fellow played here in 2018. Missed the cut, came back the next year and finished tied for 27th. And I think they ruined his career. I think he quit after that.
He was never heard from again.
Yeah. Where could he be?
Gary, appreciate the time as always. Can't wait to see you in a couple weeks.
Thanks for having us. Look forward to seeing you guys August 7th through 10th.
There we go. That's Gary Java from the Pinnacle Bank Championship presented by Woodhouse. We will be back with Mike Schaefer from Husker 24/7 here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Give me that cheddar, we getting Rico. Big money rolls like burritos. Give me that hot sauce, no pico. Give me that.
Steven, you're repping the Creighton hat. You got multiple Creighton alum. What does it mean to be a part of this?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Obviously, Ryan and Jemiah are about to play here right after us, and so repping the Blue Jays while we go watch them play. And then, it's fun also realizing that tomorrow's game's against Trey, and obviously been able to watch Baylor at the Celtics, and he's with a few of my other former teammates at Utah State. So it's been a lot of fun, a good summer league.
How much has this meant to you just to realize your dream and have an NBA chance?
Yeah, it's awesome. Being on the court and allowing to earn the trust of the coaches and things like that has been a process, but it's been fun, and it's all a part of the journey, and there's so much to learn out there, and it's going to be fun being able to pick apart the film and just learn where I can get better and improve.
So you're also playing with a former rival, Keisei Tominaga. What's it like seeing him go, because he's also a sharpshooter like you?
Yeah, our games complement each other well. Obviously there's a lot of gravity, and our shooting abilities complement each other, and it's nice to be on the same side of the ball of him rather than the opposite.
Would it be fun to do a little shoot-off between you guys ever?
Yeah, it'd be pressure. I mean, there's not a lot of misses, so he's top tier, and it's been fun being around him this summer league.
Joining me now from NBA Summer League, a former Blue Jay. Getting your NBA chance, just what does this mean to you, Ryan, hearing your name called in the draft?
Yeah, it was a really, really special thing. I mean, you work your whole life to make it to this point, and, the journey's not over, but it's definitely a huge step to get into, making a dream come true. So it's been a special journey so far. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better stop than Creighton, but, one more stop to go.
Well, you told me after your freshman season you were looking for internships. You weren't sure what you're going to do after basketball. How proud would that guy be of you right now?
The guy would be saying someone's lying to you if I'm in the NBA. So, yeah, I think he'd be very proud of how far I've come and where I'm at today.
How much have you grown in your confidence and just how you are and your presence on the court?
Completely different guy. I wasn't talking at all my freshman year. I wasn't confident at all, and that's changed completely. You can't make it to this league, much less stay in it, without being confident and being sure of yourself and knowing what you do. And I feel so much more prepared going into the league now than I would have my junior year, sophomore year, especially my freshman year.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Don't forget, kids eat free on Tuesdays. That's today with the purchase of an adult entree. Make sure you get in here to La Vista or Gretna locations. We are joined now by Mike Schaefer from Husker 24/7. Schaefer, how are you this morning?
I am good. How are we doing over there in Papillion?
La Vista, I think technically.
La Vista. I don't know. I've gotten so lazy. I just say the Metro, and I'm pretty sure that encompasses everything to Grand Island. So.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I don't.
So, some people consider Grand Island its own metro, but that's just from my Western Nebraska take. So you don't want to get too far into the weeds on that, Schaefer.
Yeah, well, I'm not looking to get into the weeds. I just don't know how far out we extend. Like the call when I get a phone call from you guys comes in from UTAN. Is that Metro adjacent?
Well, it's
like
more of a. Just more of the peninsula, of the metro. So I guess that counts. But it's far enough away from here that it'd be a drive for most folks.
I'm going to be honest, Schaefer, as an Omaha native, I'm a little more selective about what I include in the metro. Some people call that pretentious. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want. I'm not extending that courtesy, certainly out to Grand Island. That's quite a ways away.
Your boundaries.
Yes, I do.
How far to the west are you going? Like, is Waterloo too far to be metro?
Yes, I go to the outlet mall. That is as far southwest as I go.
Interesting.
Ashland's not part of it.
On the wrong side of 204th.
Yes. Well, so I'll include Elkhorn. So it's probably like 220th ish. So it's about a mile west of 204th is the boundary for me.
Well, I just want to, clarify for future reasons. So I just want to know where people are at with these things.
If you have Omaha questions for any reason, I'm your guy. I can help you out. I'm happy to walk you through however we can navigate that for you.
That's good to know. It's good to know. I'm going to file that one away.
I'm very passionate about Omaha, Schaefer. So as you know,
I've gotten all my recommendations from Ravi. Actually, that's the only thing I can trust. Schaefer, your Big Ten media preseason poll, the Schaefer poll that you put out yesterday. Which team did you see from that 5 through 9? Because much like you wrote and said, a lot of people agree the 1 through 3, and a lot of people say 4 would be Illinois. You had USC 5. We went through this exercise yesterday. Which team in that 5 through 9 for you do you think actually has the most variability that could range from maybe pushing Illinois out of 4 to falling outside of that top 10 range in the Big Ten?
Yeah, USC certainly fits that category. I think Washington fits that category. I've kind of talked myself into Washington being a team that could at the very least play spoiler. Like they get Illinois, I believe, out in Washington this year. So that is a potential fun matchup with teams that we don't really know what to make of entirely. I think Jed Fish is a good coach. I think they've done a nice job bringing in talent. He inherited a tough situation, which is weird to say when you become the coach of a team that just lost the national championship. But they lost a lot of players in the portal and not a lot of time to be able to figure out their roster entirely. And so I think they're kind of a second-year bounce team in the conference, and then with a second-year coach for them as well. So I think Washington's certainly a team that's really volatile that I have in that mix. USC as well. I mean, the reason all those teams are in that mix is that they are volatile. I mean, Michigan, it would not shock me at all if Michigan went 6-6 or 7-5.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. It would shock me if they were like. So I guess there's a little bit of a cap there for them. I mean, Nebraska's consistency issues are well documented. We don't have to spend time on them. But then like you get past those teams. Like, I don't think there's any volatility with Iowa. I think they're going to win 8 games with maybe the upside of 9, or they're going to win, 8 games with maybe the downside of 6. So there's not like a lot to kind of see there. Indiana, I don't really believe in the second year. So It's really just that handful of starting with Illinois, USC, Michigan, Washington, Nebraska. Those are the sort of teams that I think could be on either side of in the top 6 in the conference or potentially in the bottom half of the conference.
Schaefer, I kind of want to go through this exercise with you real quick here as we're going through this, because you're talking about the volatility with some teams and the variance with others. I want to go down kind of your order here and tell me when to stop when you think a team couldn't finish in 4th place.
Yep.
Illinois, obviously you have in 4th. USC, Michigan,
Keep going.
Washington,
Keep going.
Nebraska.
That's like right at the line for me. I think Nebraska could absolutely finish in 4th place if they have everything goes right for them. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but I think it's at least in the range of outcomes.
Is it in the range of outcomes for Iowa?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't believe in Iowa. When I say that, it's not to be so flippantly dismissive of their ability to put together an 8-win football program. I just don't think that they're going to be better than that. Like, I have genuine questions about how the offense will go. I love the addition of Mark Gradowski, but it's still a jump in level for him to go from the FCS and even at a place like South Dakota State where he was playing for national championships. He's now coming to the Big Ten, and this is a tough conference for newcomers. And so, I just don't look for that offense that leans so heavily on Caleb Johnson to be explosive and put up a bunch of points. And at some year, that defense isn't going to be able to save them entirely. So that's my cutoff point. And it wouldn't shock me, if they're better than a couple of the teams that I have in front of them. I just don't think they have the same upside.
Mike, were you surprised by the uniformity of a lot of the Big Ten preseason poll? It felt like a lot of people that I've seen online, some of the mismatching of the 5 through 9 in the bottom half, everyone pretty much agreed with the top 3, and then Illinois at 4 as well. But it feels like everyone somewhat agreed that there are different tiers of the league, that there's the 3 of Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, Illinois, and then the 5 through 9, and then the bottom half of the league. Were you a little bit surprised by that there wasn't a more mixing and matching of some other teams in there?
Not a ton. I mean, because with 3 of them, you have 3 very clear reach the second round or beyond in the college football playoff. I mean, you have the returning national champions, returning semifinalists, or returning quarterfinalists. So, yeah, those 3 kind of make sense where they are. They all have important pieces that are coming back to help establish them, at least offensively. And then, in the case of Penn State, it's sort of this is kind of time for them to fire their gun. This is their best opportunity to win the conference outright. So they were in the conference championship game last year. So those 3, it's not a big surprise. I think Illinois is a lot of everyone looking for who's the next Indiana. And they check a lot of boxes. They finished the year relatively strong. The one thing about them, that defense was really suspect last year. I mean, if you look at what Oregon did to them, Dylan Raiola had a tremendous game, and then that was the last time he looked good until Wisconsin. So I do wonder if they have the defensive chops to be able to finish 4th in this league, depending on how the schedule breaks out for them, or if they have the offense that can sustain enough to get past what, is probably a pretty weak defense relative to what the expectation is. And then after that, yeah, it is. It feels like you just kind of line up who your favorites are and go from there. And I feel like everybody has the same kind of fade teams too. Like nobody seems particularly enamored by what Luke Fickell has going into his 3rd year at Wisconsin. It seems like that should be just massive alarm bells out there in Madison.
So, Schaefer, let me ask you about UCLA, because they're a team that had a huge variance in the poll. Somebody had them as low as 17, which is wild to me. I'm not in love with UCLA, but that seems really low. You have them at 13. What do you see? Like, what if Nico's good? What does UCLA look like if Nico's good?
Yeah, I think they could be upper half of the conference, but I think they could be the middle of the conference as their high point. Like they could get to 8 wins, they could get to 7-5. Like that's what team number 9 or 10 in this conference is going to be, because there's going to be a lot of beating each other up. So I think they have that in their bag. I just don't know that they can go out and win enough games to be a top 5 team in the Big Ten this year. Right? They're a little bit of a wild card because they lost a fair amount on defense. They had guys that really, you look at the game plan they had for Dylan Raiola, they had him out of sorts in a way that we hadn't seen a whole lot of. And previously, he had just played the national champions in Ohio State. So I think some of the question with them is less Nico and more so just like, are they going to be able to replicate the same strong defensive performances that they were getting up front? So if they can't do that at quite the same level, I don't know that their upside is that high, but I think that they have enough talent to get to the 7-8 win range if things break right for them. And that would include beating a Nebraska team going out for the Rose Bowl in November.
Schaefer, we were talking earlier about Dylan Raiola's X factors, Nebraska's X factors, that sort of stuff, and talked a little bit about Dana Holgorsen. But I'm curious. I had this thought come in last week, and we've kind of been stewing on it a little bit. But what do you think is more important with Holgorsen being completely under the fold here for essentially his second year? Is he more impactful for Dylan Raiola, or is Dana Holgorsen more impactful for the Nebraska football offense?
I think he's more impactful for the Nebraska football offense because you kind of get to cheat and have Raiola as part of that answer.
Fair. All right.
So,
good caveat.
So you have that, but like I look at these numbers every time I write about it. I wrote about him yesterday. He's the number 2 player on the most indispensable Huskers list in Emmett Johnson. His usage numbers when Dana took over just jumped off the charts. So the way Nebraska was playing offensively was different with Holgorsen, and you could see it in how Emmett Johnson was used. He was getting up to 20 and a half touches. He averaged, I think, 6 receptions a game. He had 7 total receptions his entire previous year. And then leading up to that point in the USC game, I think he only had a handful of receptions. So they clearly changed some of the focal point of how they wanted to attack. And then they had an entire offseason to look at it and be like, okay, here's how we can use Emmett Johnson in this way. We went out and we have some running backs that we like that we can throw the ball to, whether it's Mekhi Nelson, whether Isaiah Mosey moves into that role. Quentin Ives is someone that can catch the ball out of the backfield. I still think there's real questions about him as your backup running back. So I think the offensive identity has changed with Dana Holgorsen. So I think it's a bigger effect on the offense as a whole than just on Dylan. But Dylan obviously is going to reap the benefits of it. And if he can streamline easy, efficient throws for a quarterback that has, the brain to process all of this, that's the real upside here.
Schaefer, I know you got to go here in a couple of minutes, so I want to get you out of here on this. Is there anything you're looking forward to hearing from Big Ten Media Days? We heard a lot of interesting stuff from the Big 12, from the SEC. Do you anticipate or are you looking for something specific from the Big Ten Media Days, whether from Nebraska or anybody else?
I look forward to Tony Petitti just trying to whitewash the Michigan scandal like it never happened, like Rob Manfred talking about the 2017 Houston Astros. But so we'll have that to look forward to, because why would you ever want to hold anybody accountable? Just why would anyone want accountability in this level of society?
Well, it's good. Jim Harbaugh's just such a lovable character. I mean, how could you not want him to win?
I can't say the things I'm thinking on air. So, beyond that, there's not a ton. I'm not a big media days person. I'm much more excited to get over to practices here in the coming weeks and have the opportunity to kind of hear from the different assistants or hear from the different players about what it's sort of looking like and feeling like over there. I think Matt Rule will do a great job representing Nebraska, as he always does, and all of that. I don't think there's going to be a lot we're going to learn. I don't think he's going to sit up there and be like, well, you guys have been talking about who's going to be right tackle all offseason, and here's the answer. As nice as that would be, but I think we're going to get a lot of platitudes, and it'll be interesting too, because if you guys go back and think about it, they didn't want to get into specifics in the spring. They didn't want to talk about specific players a whole lot. I'm curious if he can do that in this media day setting, because people are going to want to know, what does it look like for you up front beyond Riley Van Poppel, Keona Davis, Cameron Lenhart? Is Elijah Judy the guy? So there's a fair amount of questions. He's going to get asked a lot about running backs. I think we're going to hear a lot about Isaiah Mosey. We're going to hear about some of the other freshmen that's coming in. We're going to hear about how he feels about their whole season special teams resting on a punter who's never been in, America before, or punted in America before. So it's there's going to be a lot of discussion about different things. I just don't think we're going to get a lot of answers that we really want right now, which is fine because we still got a little build up till this whole thing kicks off.
That's our guy, Mike Schaefer, Husker 24/7. Schaefer, 9:20 on the dot. I got you.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys, and thanks for working with me this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
That's Mike Schaefer from Husker 24/7. He brought up an interesting thing with Isaiah Mosey.
Yeah.
Do you think it's easier to contribute as a true freshman running back or wide receiver?
In this year or in general?
Just like generally speaking.
I've always felt that being a running back is more linear and easier to translate from each level and each step than it is a receiver because of if you're a true freshman, and we heard this a little bit yesterday from DB talking about his Lawrence Phillips story, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a freshman coming in and you immediately showcase a skill set, a body frame, a type, whatever, that can showcase success, running back is one of the easiest. Get the ball in his hands and see what he can do, right?
Sure.
And I know that there's more layers to it. There's the pass blocking, how you can stay on the field. There's more dimensions to your game that you can add to it.
We heard that with Derrick Henry when he was talking about his first time in Alabama.
Right.
Yeah.
But at receiver, if you don't have those physical traits, maybe you are a physical freak, right? And we've seen this even with Ja'Cory Barney, right? That if you have a way to get the ball in your hands, that's great. But to just be a translated X receiver on the outside that you're going to play. Basically, someone's going to man you up one-on-one throughout the game. You got to beat them one-on-one. I think that's a little bit more complicated, and it takes also the timing of your quarterback. I think the running back's a little bit more.
I mean, we saw this with Malachi Coleman a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
Physically, basically everything you would want out of a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And early in the year, especially, people are like, hey, why isn't he getting on the field? Why isn't he getting on the field? I agree with you. I think there's a little bit more involved in being a wide receiver because, I mean, you still have the blocking as well. But then getting on the same timing as your quarterback, understanding how to run your routes. Actually, I don't think this is a hot take. I think route running is a lot harder than people give it credit for.
And it's severely underrated for when people look at physical traits.
Yeah.
And I know Tim Verghese is a big one on this, on how people run their routes and how clean they can get in and out, because the spare seconds that you don't waste and the energy you don't waste in getting open, open you up as a target to be open, right?
Well, think about it this way, right? So think about a guy that runs a 4.55 versus a 4.45, right? Like in our minds, that's a guy that's not very fast to a guy that's pretty fast, right? In a wide receiver. 4.45 wide receiver, pretty fast. 4.55 receiver, not that fast, maybe more of a possession guy. But think about how much you can make up a tenth of a second in just running a route, right? Like if you're making sharp cuts in and out, boom, that's a tenth of a second right there. Like you can make up a tenth of a second in route running like that. And you can turn a guy that runs a 4.55 or a 4.6 into a guy that moves like a guy running a 4.4 just by running the route well.
Yeah.
Like that's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Like if you're a 4.4, 4.3 guy and you're a bad route runner, you're going to run routes like you're running a 4.5 or a 4.6. Like you can lose tenths of a second. They can leak out like nobody's business unless you're running a straight fly. You're just a go route and you're like, here we go.
Yep.
Right? If you're doing any sort of intricacies, I mean, even think of like a post, a very simple route.
Yep.
Boom, cut towards the post. That's it. If you're not sharp coming out of the post, you lose a tenth of a second just in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, and I think that's again a part of the argument in favor for a true freshman running back to have more of an impact than a freshman receiver. Because if you come into the game and if you're a Ja'Cory Barney type like last year where they're going to move you in motion, you're going to get the ball in multiple ways, as soon as you have some film on you that shows, oh, well, when Ja'Cory goes from right to left across your, the formation and he goes behind the quarterback, it's going to be an option play this way or swing route this way because they want to get the ball in his hands. But if you're a receiver just on the outside and you can only run flies and you don't have any dynamic movement in your game, as soon as you go out there, anybody that's watched film on you says, okay, so
roll a safety over this way to be help over top so that we're going to play 10 yards off of him so we can't get passes and you're done.
Yep. Number 12's in the game. He's only got one route on him. We've got that.
That side of the field is now useless.
Yes.
Right. I will say, David brings up a good point with the pass protection on the running backs. I do think you see this a lot more is and guys are going to get the ball in certain situations, but they'll bring guys in. You bring in third down backs or short yardage backs in certain situations, and you go, hey, I know this guy is not a great pass protector. He's getting the ball in this situation. They do that, and it doesn't tend to matter a ton, especially if the guy is physically gifted. I will say, I think at running back, maybe you need to be a little bit more physically ready.
Yes.
Like Mekhi Nelson's a good example. That's a guy that I think has had to work to put on some weight, where last year, talent-wise, probably could have been helpful. Don't know if he was physically ready to be a running back at the Big Ten level in that moment. I think he's a lot closer. Like, I'm really interested to see Mekhi Nelson this year. But I do think there's physically, because of the pounding that you take as a running back, as opposed to it's a little less frequent contact as a wide receiver, I do think you can get away being a little less physically mature as a wide receiver if you've got some of that other stuff. I do think the football part of it's harder in terms of, I think natural ability can take over at running back a little bit easier than it can at wide receiver, unless you are like a true like Calvin Johnson type freak. But even then, if you don't have some of the other stuff, you're still pretty limited. If you've got a couple pet running plays that you like, you can run those over and over again and be effective. Like we've seen that across countless players, countless systems. That's not really a deal breaker. If you're a wide receiver that can only run one or two routes, you're not going to be that useful.
Well, and then notably in the past 25 years in Nebraska football, when Nebraska's had a staple of running backs, is it staple or stable? Stable.
Like horses?
Yeah, not like stapler. Like
no, like my space stapler. Big office space.
Go office space.
Yeah, of course.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was.
That's like in my wheelhouse. Like
people don't give that movie enough credit.
I mean, late 90s. That's my sweet spot, man.
But in the stable of running backs in the past 25 years, they found ways to get Amir Abdullah on the field, right? Behind Roy Halou, behind Rex Burkhead, and a couple of other guys that were with him that were pretty talented. And they found ways to be able to get the ball in his hands because he was so talented.
Amir came in with Braylon Hurd and Aaron Green. Both were more highly regarded. Both ended up playing power conference football somewhere else because Amir stole their lunch, basically.
Yeah. But then you can make the same argument for Amir as to why he stayed on the field past his freshman year. One, because he was obviously the most talented running back. But his play style changed from his freshman to his senior year.
Yeah, what they asked of him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also just, I mean, in terms of his body, the way he could run the ball and what else he could do in terms of staying on the field, everything. Yeah. So if you're going to be a freshman running back that can contribute, you have to kind of provide a part of the game that isn't already provided with what the offense needs.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah,
because
kind of a change up.
Yeah, because Emmett Johnson's not going to run, halfback toss 35 times in a game.
That's why Ramir Johnson was useful last year, right?
Yes.
Because you look at him, you're like, oh, that's a nice receiving threat. He's coming out of the backfield. Like Ramir, I know he wasn't a true freshman. Obviously, he was literally the furthest thing you can get from being a true freshman.
Well, as Nick Baugh has said before, it's like he's played in like the World War II team and stuff. Like he was part of the original pinstripe, the Gotham Bowl.
He was actually there the last time they played a bowl game in New York.
I apologize.
Me likey. We love Nick Baugh. We should have Nick Baugh on.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a you have to bring a different dynamic, right? Mm-hmm. It's the same thing in like if you're a basketball player and you're not one of the top, like if you're trying to crack Creighton's lineup, Jason Green having a different skill set than a lot of those guys in terms of doesn't need the basketball in his hands is actually really useful.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's useful that he can.
Did you just Ramir Johnson, Jason Green?
I did. Or maybe I Jason Green, Ramir Johnson. You never know. Well,
That was great. That was good.
Miller North guy, Jason Green. Can't forget about that. No, but I do think that's a fair point, that if you've got a different skill set than some of the more established running backs in the room, that also can get you onto the field as well, where that can be a little trickier with wide receiver, but I do think there's opportunities there. But physically, I do think you need to be more ready at running back because you're going to take some hits.
Yeah.
Like there's no way around it.
I don't know if I agree with you on that. I originally did, but just the issue of if you are a true freshman receiver and you're out there and you are not physically ready for the type of contact that you're going to get in the Big Ten, they'll jam and press you to force you to get off the line, and you will have to be technically sound, and you'll have to have a little physicality with it too.
Yeah, I think if you
Illinois did that.
If you are technically sound, I think you can get away with being a little less physically mature at wide receiver.
That's fair.
Like it's not like Ja'Cory Barney was a big guy last year.
Yeah, right.
Like, and he found like he's really good at everything else. By the way, he looks bigger this year. Like
he does. Yes.
He looks like he is.
When he was juking kids out.
Spent some time in the weight room. Like he looked good at the road race. But Ja'Cory Barney was pretty slight last year.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Lloyd was been pretty slight his 2 years at Nebraska before going to Oklahoma State this year. And they found ways on the field because they're good at the other stuff. Even if you're good at the other stuff at running back, if you're that far below kind of what the median would be in terms of physicality, I think you're going to have a hard time getting on the field. That's what I mean with the physicality part of it.
Can I ask you a non-football question?
Sure, absolutely.
So they had the Nebraska football, behind-the-scenes hype video release yesterday online. Do you think we'll get an alternate jersey this year?
Ooh, I hope so. I like the alternate jersey. I know this is a unpopular take.
This is going to be very unpopular.
I like some of the alternate jerseys. Some of them have been very bad. I typically like the All Blacks. New Zealand, no. The All Black jerseys. That's a rugby joke. I typically like the All Black.
The black shirt one was great.
The black uniforms. Yeah. Anytime there's like a black helmet, like I'm in for that. There was one that was kind of like an old school numbering. It looked kind of like a throwback. It was red jersey with white. They might have done a white with a red too, but it's like an old school numbering that I really, really liked. I didn't love the leather helmet look one.
Very bad. And
not great.
Consider that it was done better by Illinois later, made it even worse.
I didn't like the one with the giant N in the middle.
Yeah.
Didn't like those.
That was kind of the first one, right?
That was early.
That was the Taylor Martinez, right?
Yes, and they had I think all the Adidas schools did them, like a version of it. So
because Wisconsin had there were like alternate road uniforms that they played Nebraska in. Yeah.
And so I didn't love those, but
you didn't mention the best one of all, the blue stripe one.
I barely even noticed there was a different uniform. Somebody was like, "Oh, it's an alternate uniform." I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Oh, the numbers are outlined in blue." Oh, cool, thank you. I'm glad that Adidas felt that it was necessary. Just don't even do it at that point.
Yeah,
you can't even see that on TV.
Yes, yeah, no,
and certainly not in person.
No, it wasn't great.
Unless I'm buying a jersey and it's in my hands this far from my face, I did not know there was a blue outline.
They had the white camo for the Buffalo game a couple of years ago.
So I actually liked that one.
I did too.
And it kind of came out. There was some good gear that came from that too. I've got a little jacket that is like from the white camo, and I'm generally not a camo guy. The white camo is a nice look.
Yeah.
I thought it was. So I think I like more of the alternates than I dislike.
Rumor online has it that they're 90s throwbacks.
I'm trying to even think what that would look like.
I think our guy TK actually got a screenshot of it. I'll see if I can find his tweet.
I feel like the 90s throwbacks are mostly just the same. Like,
yeah, more or less.
They're not that different. I don't know.
See if I can find this.
I want him to.
Also, TK's yelling at me online because I posted a potentially mean thumbnail, but that couldn't be me. I would never do that.
It was definitely you. It's always you. No,
Oh yeah, here, look at this. This is what we got here. So this was from the video. So people are speculating that's
mostly the same.
Yeah.
Like it's almost.
It is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Now, if they go full crop top, I'm in. If we can get that to be a crop top,
big crop top guy.
Could you imagine? Troy Dannon signs that. I'll pay the fine. No problem. Crop top. Who would you want to see crop top 90s throwback alternate uniforms against?
What team?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I want Houston Christian. I want all the highlights. I want as many highlights in the crop tops as possible. Whoa, Rico, calm down there, buddy.
I mean, you'd get the most run out of the Michigan game. Stop. Yeah. So I actually agree with Rico there. I don't the throwbacks, unless they're like really far back so they actually look different.
Mm-hmm.
But like the 90s uniforms look almost exactly the same.
Fair. Yeah.
Like I don't like if you're going to do an alternate uniform, do an alternate uniform. Make it something different. Do the white camos. Those were sick. Do one of the black ones, like the black shirt ones. Honestly, I liked any of the all black ones. Yeah. I thought they were really cool looking. Like just do something different.
So make them yellow. Just make a full corn cob.
Pass.
Okay.
I'm out on the corn cob uniform.
No corn cob uniform?
I've seen a mock-up. I think Dave Fight did a mock-up of a corn cob uniform, which like seems up his alley. I think it was him. If not, then he just got a shout out for no reason.
We should have Brand Goods cook one of those.
Cook up an alternate or a corn cob uniform.
A corn cob uniform.
That should be our new softball jerseys. Corn cob.
That's corn cob uniforms.
Yeah. Although we all called the hot dogs. So
yeah.
I don't know. I want something different. I personally am a big fan of anything where you're going with the black jerseys. I think black jerseys are a really nice look for almost any school.
I don't have an issue with alternate uniforms. I think I've been kind of wishy-washy on this at different times because some of the alternate uniforms I've been so staunchly against that it makes me not want to see it in alternate uniform again. But then sometimes they have ones that are just good enough. The black shirt one, and I think Kenny played in this one. I think it was the UCLA game that they had the black tops, white bottoms. It was just a black stripe, and they had the black shirt like emblems on the shoulders or something along those lines. Those were great. I really, really liked those ones.
I agree.
The only problem is that Nebraska doesn't have like these utterly dominant performances in alternate uniforms. So I think everyone just assumes that they're a curse.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It is.
That doesn't make any sense.
I also don't buy into the surrender white uniform.
I don't either. So these ones were okay with the different numbers.
Yeah, see, these are the ones I'm talking about, yeah.
Those are sick.
Yeah, like those.
This is terrible radio, by the way. I love those. Those are great. The black with the red.
Actually, I think I can throw these on screen quick.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Okay, whoa. All right. Sorry.
Hey, technology boy, why don't you figure it out over here?
Ravi in the dead of the night on a weekend. Ravi comes up to me at a softball game. He goes, "Hey, did you get my message on Teams?" No, dude, I log off. I try to have a work-life balance, brother.
That's different than the white balance you normally bring to the equation. Let's take a quick break. Austin's going to try and find some alternates we can throw up on the screen and
When
rate.
Austin and I do the show together, it's called Off-White.
We can rate different ones here, but I'll be honest. I am more pro than con on the alternate uniforms.
Okay.
Just make them actually look different.
Hey, this is actually the perfect time of year because who knows, later today we might learn about alternate uniforms.
I hope so. I love that helmet, by the way.
Yeah, that was the camo one.
Yeah, the white camo helmet with
one,
the NU on there. That's a great helmet.
Oh, and Lil Dave brings up Steelers alternate uniforms look awful. Have you seen those? They look exactly like the ones that Bane destroyed the stadium in.
You thought darkness was your ally.
You thought Heinz Ward would return this kickoff.
To be fair, he did score.
He did.
Now, the rest of the
But
team,
at what cost?
The rest of the team, much like Chris Pratt, fell in a pit.
Yeah.
But it's what are you going to do here?
Yeah.
Well,
You have to end the season after that, right? Scrub season?
I mean,
Replacements?
I should not say that. Anyway.
No, okay.
You just play road games. You're fine.
We'll be back more. That's Sports Live.
Avery Howard here with Emmett Johnson at Dillon's first ever youth camp. You guys are all out here. O-linemen's out here. You guys, the wide receivers. Why was it important for the offense to come support him today?
Man, it was really important, man. If we had a camp, Dillon would be there for us. So it just shows the brotherhood that we have in the room. It just shows how close we are as a team. So it means a lot for us to come out here and support him. Dillon's doing a great job of giving back to the community. So it's been really fun.
And for you guys to interact with these kids and watch their faces light up when they get to interact with you, what does that mean for you guys?
Means a lot, man. We was all kids just like them coming out here. They're having a lot of fun, and they're really excited to be at Dillon's camp. So it's just great to be able to give back to them.
You know how much Nebraska football means to all these little kids. When they leave, what do you hope they know and think about Nebraska football?
They know that we got some great players, not just football players on the field, but great humans. And I hope they take that into their lives after this camp and just have fun with everything they do.
Speaking of camp, you guys, like you just said, about a week away. What are the feelings going into camp this year?
Man, I'm really excited, man. We got a really great team this year, a really great brotherhood. So it's going to be a really, really fun year, and we just got to go into camp healthy, just take care of business, and then let everything handle itself.
Give me that cheddar, we getting Rico. Big money rolls like burritos. Give me that hot sauce, no pico. Give me that.
Here with Corey Barney at Dylan Raiola's first youth camp. You guys are having a great time out here. What's it like to see all these kids out here for him and you guys being out here supporting him?
It's exciting for me to see him, bring the whole community out. It's always good to give back, and I'm just blessed to be in this position. Happy for my guy. Yeah, I'm happy to be out here.
A lot of the offense is out here today. How would you describe the connection this group has going into this season?
Just building our brotherhood, unity. We try to do everything as one, try to move as one. We knew he was having a camp. We all wanted to come out here, show our love to the kids and to my boys. So, yeah, we enjoy being out here. We enjoy the kids, and we're just happy to be here at the end of the day. Yeah. We was once these young kids, so it's always a blessing to give back.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you that Centris has you covered with whatever your savings goals are. Centris Federal Credit Union has accounts and teams to help you reach those goals. From savings accounts, money markets, certificates, and IRAs, their experts will help set you up a personalized savings plan that meets your needs and goals. So you can start saving today and journey towards a worry-free tomorrow. Visit centrisfcu.org to check out Centris' savings options and open an account today. Federally insured by NCUA. We were deep in
the thing.
That thing wet. In alternate uni talk during the break here. And here's what I discovered.
Yeah. Also, I know Rico's listening right now. Rico, I really need help on how to figure this out. You are a better digital boy than I am.
Hey,
I can't present these. I'm not good.
Digital boys, figure it out.
I know these are just TikTok hands. I can't do StreamYard.
But I got these tiny hands. Can't do StreamYard.
You remember those Burger King commercials were hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
Those were great.
Okay.
It never made me want to go, but
no,
I was
absolutely not.
They're funny.
Horrible, but unless they want to sponsor us, and then I love it.
Yeah.
But but I've got these tiny hands way more than, and everyone just looks at me like they don't remember. That was a national phenomenon.
Yes.
Those commercials.
No, it was fantastic.
It was ubiquitous, and people just look at me. I don't know if they don't understand the reference or if they just don't think it's funny. It can't be the second because it's always funny.
It's always funny. Did it not get the run that I remember it having? Or were we just chronically on television at that time?
That's a possibility for sure.
That could have been it.
So it might be very specifically, they may have been, because you know how there's certain commercials that's played during sporting events almost exclusively? It may have been like a sporting event commercial, so we saw it a million times.
Yep.
And somebody that doesn't watch 12 hours of college football every Saturday may not have had that same experience, where it's like, hey, I've seen this Burger King commercial 300 times today, and somebody who only watches 1 or 2 football games a week is just like, oh, yeah, maybe I vaguely remember a weird Tiny Hands Burger King commercial. And it's not like it is it's like a core commercial memory for me. But I got these tiny hands. And I do the hands every
and it was
time.
so funny too, because they're like trying to pick up the burger and they're always like dropping it, and it's it's the best. And they're taking like these itty bitty little baby bites out of it. Oh, they're the best.
If you like any of the tiny hands trends on TikTok, you have Burger King to thank. You be grateful, Gen Zers. I'm talking to you.
This show is mostly built on Gen Zers. Shoot. I've been duped again.
Where are my millennial brethren? I'm out here all by myself. It's just me and Sasha, just holding it down for the millennials.
Then there's Shane.
Rico's close. I think Rico's close.
Shane, not to carbon date you, but are you a boomer?
No, he's Gen X, I think.
No, I'm not a boomer.
I don't know the times.
I don't know that.
Rico says he's a millennial.
That's right. We got Rico.
Bang.
Team Rico on the millennials.
I know I'm Gen Z, but 90% of our staff is younger than me.
Yeah.
I don't know if
you're like
they didn't have the same childhood I
Yeah,
had.
you're like a zillennial. That's a mix between the Z's and the millennials.
Is that real? I didn't like that.
I think it's what people say.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like you just had the same reaction that Sasha did when I said not to glaze her own donuts. You're just like, I didn't like that.
Shirt's coming.
They better be.
Yeah.
We talked to Brand Goods. We're working on designs.
They're beautiful. All right, so I am sending some of
they're
these.
all worse.
Not to whip my own cream.
That's underrated.
All right.
That's one of the best ones. I am sending these alternate uniforms if you want to get to alternate uniform talk.
I do. I absolutely do. So Ken likes the all reds. I'm not a fan.
That's my biggest beef is I am not a fan of the all reds.
So those are good. Those are good ones.
Yeah, the ones on screen now.
Those are great ones. What else do we got, Rico? Let's just keep popping them up here.
So those ones were good. The reason I liked them so much too is because they actually felt like real black shirt uniforms.
Yes, they look like yes.
Yes, and I love the story behind them too because they were like, this represents the black shirt tradition. It's all that good stuff. But if I remember right, that game was mostly offense, so not great.
Those are terrible. I don't know that
helmet's okay.
The helmet's okay. That uniform, that combo, the red on red with the metallic silver numbers, really didn't like those. I did kind of the matte helmet. I do enjoy. I would have preferred a black helmet there.
Yep. I
personally,
agree. Yeah, I'd agree.
I'll be honest. I'll almost always prefer a black helmet. If I get an option.
And wasn't that a night game too?
I think
that
was
Wisconsin.
The Wisconsin game.
Yeah, that was
it was very hard to see who the players were.
Yes, and Wisconsin. It was really hard to see the numbers on.
Shane for broadcast media, just trying to make it easier on the little guy.
It actually was my own cream. It was actually really challenging to see what number was on the screen because they kind of bled together a little bit.
What kind of challenges do you have watching the game with alternate uniforms?
I can't read the numbers.
It's hard telling from the press box.
I wasn't in the press box for that one. That was before my official media days. I was just a
fan.
I was just watching. I believe I was watching that at a sports bar that no longer exists.
The Coliseum?
Nope, that one wasn't the Coliseum. This one was on 120th and not quite Fort. I believe.
Wasn't it called Little Hands?
It was not called Little Hands. That's a good uniform.
So I would argue that my number one is the black shirt uniform. This is my number two, and I believe these are. Oh, so are these Labor Day or these 9/11 Memorial? It's one of the two, right?
I don't remember, but this one, this isn't 9/11 Memorial.
Oh wait, are these the Northwestern road game ones that they had done?
I think so.
Okay,
so these aren't the white camo because the white camo had the NU helmet, which might be my favorite helmet that they've done.
I can fight those.
But I do like the all white. I know people are like, oh no, surrender whites. The all whites are a sharp look.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the all whites.
Yes, these were the Northwestern games. See, look at us. We know ball.
So this one I like a lot. I like the numbers on. If you're going to go a throwback, I like this. I didn't love the helmet. Give me the NU helmet with this uniform, and I'm in. I'm all the way in.
People are out on the NU. I actually don't mind.
That's a great helmet.
I understand it's not Nebraska University. I get it. But you never say un. We're always NU.
Yes. Everything's NU. It's fine.
Yeah.
But that's a great looking helmet. If that helmet was with this uniform combo, I'm in. Because it feels very old school. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. So that's the problem with some of these is you go
and these ones that were up there, the throwback ones from the ones that Rico just threw up right now. Those are the those are the Illinois game ones, the 19 whatever throwback, and they were supposed to be the leather helmets.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. That one, the leather helmets didn't really work for me. Give me the NU helmet with that throwback, and I'm all in. I love that. Do we have a picture of the?
Also, all the podcast listeners listening right now, we just apologize. There's not a whole lot we can do about this right now.
Listen, it's a visual medium part of it now too, so we're kind of trying to, trying to play to that, but. If we have one of the white camos, I would love to get that one up there.
Yeah,
if we've got that.
I think I just sent one. It was a Damian Jackson one.
So. That might be my favorite overall uniform.
Joseph in chat, we need an alternate helmet with the block N. How that hasn't happened yet is beyond me.
So are these the white camo?
These are the white camo.
Yeah,
yes, because they were 9/11 memorial.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So the white camo is I'm a very big fan of that look. You can't really see the helmet in this one, but that's a terrific look. I'm a big fan of the white camo look.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
So
alternate uniforms mostly good.
Would you rather have an alternate uniform on the road then? Because judging by our success rate,
no, give me an all black at home.
All black at home.
Give me an all black.
Black
at home.
on black night game.
Black on black on black.
Okay.
I want the helmet. I want the jersey, and I want the pants. Now I'll give a little on the pants if you want to go like a white pant with a black and with a black jersey and a. I like a black helmet, but I'm just saying if you came out all black Michigan game at night.
That's 2:30, but yeah.
At 2:30, stupid. What
about Michigan State? Michigan State's TBD still.
Yeah, Minnesota's at Minnesota, so that wouldn't be as good of a one. Is there a home night game?
Not yet.
I mean, the closest thing you might have is Cincinnati for a home night game.
Yeah, but don't do alternate at
Arrowhead.
Site. Yeah.
All right. I mean,
I'd rather see it.
Why don't you want to? I
don't know. There's something about I don't like taking it on the road unless you're going to like a non-traditional college football. Like if you're going to Northwestern, wear an alternate white. Right.
Okay.
Do that.
Okay.
What about USC Nebraska?
Ooh.
Alternates, or is that too much of a college football tradition game?
No, let's do alternates. I don't care.
I kind of like that too.
It's not really a tradition game because like they aren't traditional rivals. Like I get their traditional brands.
But people would say college football blue blood.
That's fine. I don't care.
You get a lot of the 2006 games.
I don't
win this for Bill.
Win it for Billy C.
I'll put that sign up in the stadium. Do you think anyone else will have that going?
Akron's a night home game, 6:30.
Oh, okay, yeah. Do you want to do not? So where do you lie? Because there are some people that want to do the alternate uniform at like the non-conference. It's essentially like it's a game you think you're going to win. And some people want it to be, no, I want it because then it gets people more excited for like a big matchup, big game.
I don't care. I don't think the uniforms, we talked about this in the first segment. Like the play is going to be the play. I don't think the uniform gets them too high. I think it's for the fans. Like I want a cool visual. That's a great look.
Oh,
right there.
These? I don't remember these at all.
That's a great look. That's Tommy Armstrong, right?
Yeah, that's Tommy.
That's a great look.
Who's the back?
Is that a Zigbu?
Maybe.
That's kind of a matte black helmet. I love that uniform.
I hope that game wasn't in September though. Ooh.
That's a Northwestern. Yeah, that's a Northwestern game right there.
I like those Northwestern ones too. The
Northwestern ones aren't bad.
Purple stripe.
Yeah,
not bad. Not
bad. I'll take.
Oh, Monty Cross. Thank you, Justin. Good call.
I'm gonna stick with Divine and Zigbu.
I do like me some Monty Cross. He's my favorite player in NCAA 14.
Yeah.
He just hit the truck button down and he just run over everybody.
So
good.
David agrees with you. Do it during a non-conference game where you have great highlights in those uniforms.
That's what I'm saying. 90s crop tops against Houston Christian, baby.
I'm saying, or if you want to go Akron for the night game. Akron's a 6:30 home night game.
Black uniforms at night do look a lot better.
They look pretty nasty. Yeah. Like you coming out of the tunnel and it's dark. You're like, where is everybody? And they're just like, whoa, it's great. Love it.
They should do specifically a Halloween game. What's the closest game to Halloween? What do we have this year?
Ooh.
Oh, we have November 1st, technically. So
it's the day after.
So, okay, Nebraska's got back-to-back home games. Northwestern on October 25th and USC November 1st.
Ooh, that's a good throwback right there.
Northwestern?
No, the one that that's on the popped screen? Up. Yeah, that's a good throwback. Well, I like the numbers on the helmet. That's actually kind of a cool look.
That was what game was that? Is that Western Kentucky, I think? It was a season opener for that year.
That's a good look. I actually like the numbers on the helmet. I know people get weird about the helmet, but I like it.
Well, it's great that they did those type of throwback uniforms because the offense that season was from the 1940s.
It was a 100-year-old offense. Yes. It was incredible. You know, they did a really good job.
Please don't have 9 turnovers a game, and we will win. That's all we ask.
Justin says that was the 300 sellout.
Yes. Yep.
There you go. I'll take it. Listen, I'm a big alternate uni guy.
Dude's talking alternate uniforms.
I'm a big fan. I know people. Listen, Nebraska hasn't lost games because of the alternate uniforms. They lost games because they haven't been very good.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's been happening. Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to be good this year. Give me some alternate unis.
I'm for it. I legitimately, like, I would be interested to see what they look like because if nothing else, Adidas is always unique because
sometimes they're very bad.
They are.
They are.
But at least they're tossing it to the wind.
They're
not like Maryland, just like throwing everything and puke into the like trash can. They're like, we'll mix this up and throw it out, and it'll be a uniform.
Instead they're like, we're going to put a very small blue line around your numbers, and it's like a secret alternate. Yeah. Nobody even knows.
Yeah, I don't like the numbers on the helmet. By the way, it's too.
Why not? That's like from your childhood. That's when you were around.
It's 284 Alabama. I mean, it looks like that.
Specifically?
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't Alabama still do that? They don't have.
But
they,
I'm just
they don't
saying.
have the script A on there, do they?
No, they do the numbers.
Just the numbers, yeah.
Yeah, it's to Alabama. I don't like it. It just looks like that.
There are some uniforms across college football. I hope never do alternate uniforms.
Yeah.
Nebraska's never been one of them.
Yeah.
Penn State, I hope I never see Penn State in a different type of uniform.
Interesting.
I really like the Penn State.
So I think that some people feel this way about Notre Dame. I love the Notre Dame alternates.
I do too.
The Notre Dame alternates are so good.
And that gold helmet shines so well.
beautiful.
It's incredible.
They're-
It quite literally looks like it was blessed by God.
Their alternates are, I don't care how you feel about Notre Dame, their alternates are elite.
Yes.
You know who low-key also has elite alternates? Army and Navy.
Yes. Oh,
when they
yes.
go hard for their
Yes.
Army-Navy game, their alternates are unbelievable.
Their uniforms 2 decades ago to where they are now are so much better.
Oh, my God.
So much better.
The alternates for the service, Air Force doesn't do them quite as well.
But Florida State.
See, Florida State has some really good ones. They had an all-black one with
There we go, Rico.
Oh, that's
and you got the Omaha guy in there, too.
Xavier Batts, Omaha guy. Watts. Xavier Watts.
Whoa.
Same class, wrong guy. They were same high school class.
Wrong X.
One of them's a Z.
Yeah, true. People forget.
Wrong end of the alphabet.
Just a Y.
No, Xavier Watts. Excuse me.
Could you imagine if they would have had a Xavier like Ketz or something? Just right in the middle there.
Hey, Javier. No, I do like the Notre Dame alternates are elite. The Army Navy alternates are elite. I don't know that there's Oh, you asked about Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State.
Florida State had they had an all black with they had a black helmet with the red
arrow, right?
With the red
Yes.
arrow, which
Or
was
spear.
Yeah, the spear, which was incredible.
Got the Army Navy ones up. Those are nice.
That's not even one of the better Army ones, honestly.
The Army all black is
so good.
Elite.
So good.
That Navy one's fire.
Yes, all of them are incredible. But yeah, Florida State's had some really good ones. They mix and match a little bit.
Asian Wyatt, the state flag or the sewer on the helmet.
I think
I'd love to see the sewer.
I think we should do the sewer on the helmet. Somebody mocked up like a overalls uniform where it's like
see that. Yeah.
white with a red overall, so you look like Herbie. That's a pass for me. I'm gonna put that in the corn cob category. Get that out of there. No, thank you. Didn't the Storm Chasers do corn cob uniforms? I think the Storm Chasers did corn cob. That's a great. Look at that. That's a great alternate.
That is good.
That's a good looking alternate right there.
And
See?
the different color.
Yeah,
as it changes down too.
the red to black gradient. That's a great one.
Trying to think
they had a different one kind of like that it was probably about 10 years before that. It was I'm imagining Xavier Lee against Maryland wearing a all black alternate. So this was probably 2006, 2007, if I'm remembering correctly. Former Florida State great Xavier Lee. Great might be aggressive. He was one of those people I have an irrational affinity for.
Yeah.
He was like a 5-star coming out and mobile quarterback. I think he was ahead of his time.
Mhm.
I'm not sure that Bobby Bowden's offense was ready to adapt to a talent of that level. And that's why we had Drew Weatherford for a few years there. But
do you know which alternate I'm actually high on?
Which one?
Tennessee's Smoky Gray.
Oh, I do like some of the
They do it wrong because sometimes they'll put like white pants with the gray on
Yeah, no,
top.
stupid.
Don't
Gotta
do
go
that.
all gray.
All gray with
Yeah.
the orange stripe.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's not a bad one. I do like. I mean, as you can see from my Jeep here, I do kind of like a matte gray look.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm not mad about that.
Trying to see. I just Googled best college football alternate uniforms to see what I got. I don't like the Florida white with just the F.
Mhm.
Those were some Tebow Day ones. Well, I know we haven't hit obviously on the tough ones. Oh, these were bad. The Michigan State ones where it just said state. Those were terrible.
Michigan State has had some good ones.
They
though.
have, yes,
They've
they
had
have.
some good ones in the past.
Which is shocking why they choose to keep going back to the bad ones.
Yeah, I don't know.
We haven't hit Oregon yet. Do you have a favorite Oregon?
Ooh, I don't.
The Stormtrooper white with the matte silver on the sides. Those are good. I like those ones.
I do like the Stormtrooper white. I don't have one off the top of my head there's almost too many that it almost doesn't even feel like an alternate, it's just kind of like part of the rotation. But I in general like some uniforms that give me a little character.
Oh, who is that? Is this TCU?
Dude, some of the TCU ones are wild.
Yeah, their best are all purple. I don't.
Yes.
That's too much.
Some of the TCU ones are aggressive.
This looks like you have to be on drugs to
So
watch football.
I will say for Oregon, I do kind of like the throwback to the mid-90s uniforms.
Oh, the green.
Like
yeah.
the Kelly green and the yellow helmet.
The original Duck logo.
Yeah,
Those are great.
give me like the Achilles Smith Oregon uniforms, and I'm in for that. I'll mess around
Joseph
with
in chat, it might be a hot take, but he'll take our traditional road uniforms over the home ones. Love the red pants, never all white, Ravi, much like the show.
The surrender whites aren't a thing to me.
I agree.
I'm okay.
I love the red pants are really good.
They are. I'm okay if you don't want to go all white with your traditional uniform, but I'm not opposed to an all white alternate.
Yes.
So like
Yep.
if you don't want to go white on white with your traditional, that's fine.
Yep.
But I'll go with an all white alternate. I can mess around with that a little
I'm
bit.
always iffy on who's this? Is it Oregon State? No, this is Florida. Oh, gross. That's disgusting. I don't know where Rico found this. This was straight out of the swamp.
Yeah, well, I listen. I'm here for a gator print. Like I kind of like what they were trying to do there, but it's very ugly.
Yeah, that's very bad.
It's aggressively ugly.
Where are you on Ohio State's uniforms? They are trying to do the Notre Dame thing, but they don't do it as well.
They're fine.
Yeah.
They're just fine.
Yeah.
Ohio State, I feel like with their color scheme could do better.
Mhm.
And especially with Nike, they've never done anything I think I've been that impressed with.
You're going to hate this. Do you know who I love running a college football dynasty with this team,
Who?
changing up their uniforms? Wyoming.
You like the Cowboys?
Brown, yellow, and white, baby. No better color scheme in college football.
The poop brown? The poop brown, the pea yellow?
If you're going to be Wyoming Cowboys, those had to be your colors. You couldn't have done anything else.
No, I get it. Like, it makes sense, but if that's what you're...
You're so disappointed in me.
I am. Like, I've done... You know who Loki has pretty good uniforms?
Oklahoma State.
I think they're a little overrated.
Okay.
I think they're a little overrated.
Bang. That's my guy, Rico.
Like, that's not a bad uni.
Yeah,
like,
right?
It's not. But that's not my...
They have figured it out.
That's not my go-to.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I've played with Tennessee before just because I like their uniforms. I like the creamsicle orange. I've played with Minnesota before. I think they've got a clean color scheme.
When they go too much gold, it's too much.
Yes, the maroon needs to be prominent.
Yes, yeah.
They've got an all-black alternate that I really like a lot, actually. The Minnesota. Maybe I just like all-black uniforms. That I feel like we're getting a pattern here.
Yeah, not to small town this too much by any means, but if you haven't seen the Holdridge Duster uniforms and they go purple with the gold imprint, it's a beauty of a look.
I think it's safe to assume I have not seen the Holdridge Duster uniforms.
Oh, you're missing out. You're missing out on life's greatest joys.
You want to talk about an alternate that's really good? The all-black Miller North ones.
The all-black Miller North State baseball uniforms.
Those were sick.
Those were elite.
I'm still trying.
You want to talk about a team that got up for their uniforms? It was
that
Miller
might have
North
been them.
baseball.
That
That's
might
what it was.
That might have been them. They might have got it. I'm still trying to track down one of those hats. I'm on a mission.
Those were elite.
Dude, the all blacks were.
You should do an ad read for that.
Beautiful.
Just in the final segment of the show is Boise State. I don't mind Boise State. I love what they've done with the Bronco on the side, where the Bronco dominates the side of the helmet.
It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Brian Christopherson's coffee
Yes.
mugs. They just keep incrementally.
Let it get bigger until someone says something. Yeah.
They're like, so it's just, you don't even have the whole horse head on the helmet anymore. It's just its snout.
Little Dave, I'll have to show you. I'll show you off air sometime. The UNK alternates that they made.
Okay.
UNK alternates are very, very
I'm here
good
for
this
some
year.
UNK alternates.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
do it.
Speaking on that, Northwest Missouri State, that green-white, I actually really like that.
That's a
Northwest
nice
Missouri
color
State,
scheme.
They do have some good
That's a
colors.
clean
there.
color
and they
scheme.
don't put too much black in it, which black can do like a
Wow.
lot of. Okay, we're past time. Can we get out of here? We got to get out of here.
Big fan of Northwestern. Northwest Missouri State. I hadn't done that to you yet today.
Yeah, 28 years of my career just down the drain. One sentence.
That is a good color scheme.
He
though.
was talking about uniforms. It's fine. You've said way worse.
Yeah, but I know how this works. I'm really afraid that Rico's going to clip that.
Oh, Rico's a bad friend.
No, he's too good of a friend. He was texting me yesterday, and he was like, I've got some hot takes for you if you want to go viral again.
Just go through their schedule, apparently.
You want
That's
me to
how
read
do
these
it.
off?
Yeah, what do we got?
Let's see what I got here.
Let's pop off the Rico hot takes real quick.
Let's see here. Okay. I was asking if he wanted any help with clips today, and I said, or he goes, you know you love getting people riled up. And I said, tomorrow should I say Bill Callahan just needs to come back? He said, talk about how great he actually was in comparison to Scott Frost. And I was like, oh, a double down.
I mean, that's not even a hot take. That's just true. Just accurate.
Yeah, right.
They played in a Big 12 championship game with Bill Callahan.
We did get some YouTube comment hate on that segment we did last week. People were
Which
upset.
one? On the Billy C?
Yeah.
Billy C's underrated.
These guys just aren't Nebraska fans. Okay.
All right.
At this point, fine.
Whatever you say, bud.
You have them going 10-2.
10-2. Nobody else is on that bandwagon.
No.
Listen, I'm keeping receipts.
You know what the worst part about your 10-2 prediction is? In that 10-2, great season for Nebraska. They're 4th in the Big Ten.
Well,
that's crazy, right?
The Big Ten's pretty good.
It is.
People forget. With all the SEC talk, people forget. Big Ten's pretty good. That's Austin. I'm Ravi. We'll be back tomorrow. DB will be joining us from Las Vegas tomorrow as well. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.